Hey everyone, Stacy here. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. So today let's dive into September, and yes, it's the month that maybe some of us may have been waiting for or maybe not waiting for. It's eclipse season, you guys. Eclipse season is here, so we're definitely going to dive into all 12 signs here shortly and talk about the energies that are going to be available to us, what areas of life are going to be up for some possible rapid change this month. Maybe it already happened to you in August, or it might be happening to you in October, November, or December, because eclipse energy always ripples out well beyond the day, you guys. It's never, ever, ever about the day specifically. It's usually about, okay, what is happening before, or what is happening after, or what is happening in between the eclipses can also be really interesting as well. Anyway, before I dive into all 12 signs, I want to take a quick opportunity to thank each and every one of you for liking my content, sharing out my content, and subscribing to my YouTube channel. I really, really, really appreciate the support. I cannot stress that enough. So I am sending the love back to you tenfold. So thank you so much for that. Also, keep in mind, these are general readings. I do not have your personal birth chart sitting in front of me, so always keep that in mind. And I do use a whole sign house system. I also use Western tropical astrology. So again, this may resonate with you. This might not resonate with you. I always recommend to watch for your rising sign. If you don't know your rising sign, that's okay. You can certainly watch for your moon sign or your sun sign or any other planet placement or point that you want to pull all this information together for you for the month ahead. And if you'd like to work with me one-on-one, if you'd like to have a personal reading, check out my website in the description box below, and I'll be sure to put more information down in the description box below as well, because I've made separate videos about the eclipse cycle, you guys. I've made separate videos about, Saturn moving into Aries, Pluto moving into Aquarius, Uranus moving into Gemini, Jupiter moving into Cancer. So check out the links in the description box below if you want to learn a little bit more. Okay, so some overall highlights for the month ahead. So on the left-hand side of the screen there, I do have the mundane transits. For those of you that like to sort of track the day-to-day astrology, you can certainly take a screenshot or snapshot of this and add these to your calendar. This is not an exhaustive list, but I would say this would hit the high points for the month ahead. And also keep in mind, this doesn't include the asteroids either. So definitely we'll talk about the eclipses, but as I mentioned in the intro of the video, if you want to learn more about this eclipse cycle, check out the links in my description box below, where I made separate videos about this respective eclipse cycle. All the past eclipse cycles are there as well. Also, if you want to learn more about, Saturn moving into Aries, or Uranus moving into Gemini, any of the heavy hitters moving into new territory, I'm always going to make separate videos about those type of energies, because these month-to-month videos, I really like to focus on the personal planets. So the sun, the moon, obviously the lunations for the month ahead. So the new moon, the full moon, where Mercury is, where Mars is, and where Venus is. So I always just keep that in mind. I always make separate videos about the heavy hitters moving into brand new territory. So for the month ahead, I will obviously talk about the two areas of life where these eclipses are taking place. And keep in mind, also the dates on the screen here, they are in my time zone. So I'm in the Eastern time zone of Canada. So the same as Toronto, New York, the East Coast. But if you're on another area of the planet, which I can respect and honor that, just give or take a day or two, depending on where you are on the planet. So just keep that in mind. So Uranus joins the retrograde party this month. So he stations retrograde on the 6th. And keep in mind, Pluto, Neptune, now Uranus, and Saturn, all those four outer planets are retrograde. Again, not a big deal, because these big, slower moving planets in the sky usually spend a good 5 to 6 months retrograde each and every year. So Jupiter is still direct though. So at least we got Jupiter trying to still expand us in at least that Cancerian area of our chart. Now, another big thing that's happening this month is And yes, I know they're telling me it's the equinox. Don't forget to talk about the equinox. Okay, yes, equinox is happening this month. I can't believe I'm already talking about it. It just seems like, I don't know. I thought summer just started in the northern hemisphere, but anyway, it's amazing how time flies. And that's another thing that eclipses do. They just speed up time. That's what I also find fascinating about them, is because it's almost like 5 or 6 months of work can get condensed into like 2 to 3 weeks around eclipse time. So yes, happy equinox. So we're going to be moving into the fall in the northern hemisphere and the springtime in the southern hemisphere. And again, it's strange. I feel like I just said this about the summer months. So I don't know. Summer up here is just flown by, which is unfortunate. But anyway, it is what it is, right? Saturn is retrograding back into Pisces this month, which is really interesting. So again, I made a separate video about Saturn moving into Pisces if you want to learn more about that. These month-to-month videos, I like to focus on the personal planets. So the sun, the lunations, so the full moon, the new moon for the month ahead, also where Mercury is and Venus is and Mars is. And I always make separate videos about the eclipse cycle. So if you want to learn more about that, you can check out the links in the description box below. And also, like I said, all those heavy hitters, I made separate videos about them as well. So Saturn, though, think back to March of 2023. That's when he hopped into Pisces. So he's wrapping up a larger story that happened or started way back then. And he hopped out of Pisces May of 2025. So now he's back in there wrapping something up, crystallizing something, finalizing something. For some of you, this is going to be a final test of the stability. Saturn's coming back in saying, okay, I'm going to test the foundation of this area of life to make sure they have learnt the lessons or put up those boundaries or whatever the case may be, heeded the lessons before I move out of this area of life. So he is going to be in here now in Pisces until the middle of February 2026. So this is not going to happen overnight. We will probably feel this shift in energy, some of us more than others, of course. But I mean, if you've been following me for a while, I feel like we've been walking between the worlds for a long time, ever since Pluto started making that dance between Capricorn and Aquarius. This is kind of similar energy. Now these planets are going retrograde and they're going to go back into old territory before they permanently move into these signs in 2026. So like I said, if you feel, I've spoken to so many clients that they say to me, well, I'm not getting traction. I'm not getting here. I'm not getting there. Nothing is happening. Well, yeah, that's because these planets are still making us adjust, helping us adjust to these new big changes that are coming in. Now, for some of us, you know, you're already stepping into this and you're already ready. Like we're all on our own timetable here. So some people I know, they're just taking off and their whole life has changed and it's amazing. But then I get it. Some other folks are getting frustrated and they feel like they're stuck between a rock and a hard place and they can't get any traction. So if you're one of these individuals, just give yourself space and give yourself grace, because trust me, it's coming. These eclipses might start activating things in September. But again, if nothing is happening, just give it some time. Again, you're on your own timetable and these things never happen on our own timetable, right? What's that saying? Man plans and God laughs or something like that. That's kind of what's coming into my mind right now. So give yourself some patience and space. It's coming, you guys, it's coming. And if you want to change your life, man, 2025, 2026, this is the 2 years to start to make that happen. Anyway, I'll get off my soapbox here. So yeah, Saturn backing into Pisces, wrapping up a larger story there. But again, 5 more months of this, you guys. Like we have lots of time to wrap up this energy in the Pisces area of our charts. Not Virgo. Mercury is moving into Virgo this month, and Mercury has been in Leo for about 2 months because of that retrograde period. So Mercury is very happy to move into Virgo. This is one of his home signs. So he can finally express himself in Virgo. So this is a good thing, I think, for each and every one of us. It's going to make our thinking a little bit more clear. It will make us a little bit more critical. I will be honest about that. But again, it's how you express yourself, right? And sometimes it can come out sideways in Virgo. The intention is good, but sometimes it can come out sideways. But clear communication, which will be really helpful for the month ahead. Detail oriented, very rational, logical, really good energy for research or scientific breakthroughs or learning something new or teaching or writing or mentoring or coaching or speaking, for example. So that's for all of us with Mercury moving into Virgo. Now, Mercury is just flying along here because he's also going to hop into Libra this month on the 18th. Now, Mercury in Libra is a little bit different because it's now very diplomatic, and he will be thinking a lot about, okay, how is the other person going to think about this if I say it this way? How is the other person going to respond or react? It kind of makes us take a step back and consider other individuals before we take action on something. Mars is in Libra as well. That's sort of doing the same thing, but Mars in Libra can get frustrated if our needs are not met, but he is also there to kind of help find harmony between us and another person. And Mercury here is going to help that as well. Probably a little bit better than Mars, because Mars doesn't like being in Libra. But yeah, he's just not comfortable there. He's in his opposite sign there of Aries, where he really, really, really thrives. So Mercury hopping into two different energies this month. Venus is still in Leo as I'm recording this. So she hopped into Leo on August the 25th, and she's going to be staying there until the 18th of the month, and then she's going to shift into Virgo. So again, very different energy. Like Venus in Leo is like the glamazon, okay? So it's all about beauty, and it's all about self-expression, and it's like big self-expression, big gestures. She's very spicy and passionate when she's in the sign of Leo. She's a show-off. Again, think glamour, glitz, Hollywood. That's sort of how Venus likes to express herself in Leo. She's very loyal, and she's very giving from the heart when she is moving through the sign of Leo. So we'll definitely talk about that for all the signs. But once she moves into Virgo, again, we're going to get a little bit more buttoned up. So no more bikinis, no more thongs, no more whatever, showing off some skin. Venus moving into Virgo is about, her love language is, how can I be in service to you? And she's much more conservative, and it's sort of like that back to work or back to school type of energy, or back to routine type of energy. She's very practical in this sign, similar to Mercury moving through Virgo as well. So it's kind of like no more talking, no more thinking, no more dreaming, no more anything, no more writing things down. Let's get to work on this. That's sort of the Venus mentality in Virgo as well, which is really nice. It's about getting things done. Anything moving through the earth signs, it's about getting things done, which I personally can appreciate. And if you're an earth sign, I know you're with me on that one. Okay, now Mars. Yeah, all the planets this month, like Mercury, Venus, and Mars, they're all transiting two different signs this month. So definitely a busy month ahead, and on top of it with the eclipses here. So Mars has been in Libra since August the 6th, and he will move into Scorpio on the 22nd. This is why they were saying to me earlier about the equinox. Equinox is going to be very potent this year. I'll post separately about that on my social media site, so Instagram, Facebook, and on YouTube. I'll just do a post about it, not a video. This equinox packs a punch, you guys, because the eclipse is back to back with it. Eclipse is at 29 degrees of Virgo on the 21st of September, and then the next day the sun moves into Libra. Equinoxes and solstice are powerful as it is, but this one is extremely important, extremely powerful, lots of big change, lots of new initiations they're showing me. And also there's a connection they're showing me to do with Mars moving into Scorpio on the same day. Yeah, it's not in Libra, But the sun transitions, the Mars transitions, they're saying there's some sort of connection here. And even Venus moving into Virgo is very close to the 22nd of the month as well. So they're saying the personal planets this month are really going to help influence these changes that are coming in as well. And they're also saying these planets they are working for us, you guys. They're not working against us. But anyway, I don't want to go down the rabbit hole with this one here. I want to be conscious of time. Okay, so back to Mars here. Mars in Libra. He can be indecisive. He's not really comfortable in Libra. He does consider the needs of other people before taking action, because he is the planet of motivation, passion, action, drive. But in Libra, he takes a step back and he's like, okay, again, how is this person going to feel if I do this, if I take action on this, right? The unfortunate side of this is he can get frustrated if his needs are not met. So one example of this is, when somebody asks you, how are you doing? And you're like, oh, I'm fine, even though your life has gone to hell in a handbasket, right? And another common thing I see with Mars in Libra is not getting your needs met in a partnership, right? Sexually, for example, in behind closed doors. So that could be the case. Sometimes how we express ourselves doesn't come out the right way. We hurt our partner, we hurt their feelings, or whatever the case may be. Or again, this could be coming through work as well, right? So just keep that in mind with Mars moving through Libra. Again, this has been happening for a while. Now, once Mars moves into Scorpio, though, that's when he can fully express himself and he can fully be himself, because Mars rules over Aries and Scorpio. So he is going to get much more passionate and deep and intense when he moves into the area of Scorpio in our birth charts. Scorpio energy, though, is very loyal. So Mars in Scorpio is very loyal, even though it can come off as very obsessive and intense. Kind of like they're showing me kind of like stalker energy, but I don't want to go. That's more of a darker side of Mars in Scorpio, but it could get to that. Also, this is a very sexually charged placement for Mars as well. So again, for those of you that feel like you're not getting your needs met sexually, or in a relationship or in a marriage, or you want to spice things up and your partner's like, meh, I would say try it again on or around September 22nd when Mars moves into Scorpio, because I feel like both of you will be able to express yourselves a little bit better and you'll be able to articulate yourselves much better, because even with Mercury moving into Libra, I'm thinking the harmony, it wants to come in, right? So anyway, wanted to touch on that. And of course, we'll talk about the sun lighting up the Virgo, because we are technically still in Virgo season, and then we are moving into Libra season this month as well. Otherwise, that was pretty much all I think I was going to natter on about for the intro. Otherwise, just a reminder, watch for your rising sign, watch for your sun sign, your moon sign, or any other planet placement or point to pull all this energy together for you. So let's dive into all 12 signs. Hey Aries, let's talk about the month ahead for you. And I want to start with the sun and what areas of life he is pouring in light, heat, and energy for you. So let's start with that 6th house. But what I want you to do is remember what I'm saying about the 6th house, just so I don't repeat myself and drive you nuts. The reason why I say that is because you have an eclipse here. Okay, so you have a brand new, possible new beginning or possible ending in this area of life. And I will get into that in a second here, because the eclipses are at both working with both axes here. So I'll get into that in a second here. But what is the 6th house all about? In short, the 6th house is all about work. How are you being of service to you fill in the blank? Do you own a business, run a business? Do you work for somebody else? Do you not work? Are you retired? So if you're retired, how are you being of service? Do you watch the grandchildren? Do you walk dogs? Do you paint houses? Do you help out other people? Are you a driver? Do you drive people around? So it's the house of giving. It's sort of like, again, how can I be in service to you, for you, all about you? How can I help you? It's that customer service lens, for example. Sixth house is also, it's a really busy house, Aries. Very, very busy. I have no doubt you're going to have a busy month ahead, not only with the eclipses, but with all these personal planets sort of packed, jam-packed in your 5th, 6th, and 7th houses here. Day-to-day duty, responsibility, obligations, whether it's, again, to a business, to an employer, to your family, to your kids, to your pets, to your animals, to your farm, whatever your situation is. The reason why I involve pets and animals, because that's the 6th house. Pets and animals is the 6th house. So maybe some of you, again, focus spotlight could be on them, or maybe some of you are getting more animals or getting a new pet. Could be a possibility this month as well. 6th house is also how you're taking care of yourself, Aries. So health and well-being of the body, health, fitness, diet. It's your personal habits and routines. It could be the dirty habits. It could be the good habits. All the habits are sort of squashed into the 6th house. Mind you, the 12th house, though, too, it could be hidden habits or hidden dirty things that you do behind the scenes, like binge eating, binge watching, whatever, right? So your habits could be up for some revision, or again, something needs to change in this area of life. 6th house is also your co-workers, the workplace, the work environment, the culture. Again, your duties and responsibilities in the workplace. Whether you own a business, run a business, this could also be people working with you, working for you. So if you are the employer, this could be about people coming and going, right? There's some sort of focus on human resources this month, and the door might be revolving this month, so to speak. Same with contractors. So if you're looking for somebody to cut your lawn, if you're looking for somebody to work on your house, or whatever the case may be, or again, build your website, work with you on your business, hire an accountant, or hiring a website builder, or I don't know, something like that, that could be up for some, again, it's either in the spotlight this month, or again, this is where we have that new beginning or ending for the month ahead. Also, 6th house is like rental units. So for those of you that maybe own, that's your income, that's your business, where you have rental buildings or rental houses or something along those lines. Again, that could be in the spotlight this month as well. Or 6th house is just, they're showing me that energy of signing on the dotted line, because it is at 29 degrees of Virgo. So it could also bleed into your 7th house of relationships as well. So speaking of that, okay, so that's the 6th house in a nutshell, just so I don't have to repeat myself. Keep that in mind, because I'm going to come back to the 6th house. Now, once the sun moves into the 7th house, and again, Mercury is going to be moving in there by the middle of the month. Mars is already there, but Mars will be moving into your 8th house by the middle of the month. Lots of energy around your relationships, Aries. So one-to-one connections. This could be in marriage. This could be common law relationships, or you're just possibly even dating someone. If you're single and looking, I would say put yourself out there, because you just never know. With all this energy, Mars has been in here for a while. You could definitely attract in a partner at this time. That's definitely a possibility, especially with Venus in your house of romance and dating. That Aries, it could be full on this month. You could definitely be finding someone new if you did not already find somebody last month. Even last month, I could have seen, I don't know if I said that last month, but anyway, possibilities are endless when it comes to relationships this month. But the 7th house is also about not only our one-to-one connections with marriage, love, whatever the case may be, but this could also be, again, in business. Relationships with our family, relationships with our friends. It's any one-to-one connection that you can think of. 7th house is also about contracts, agreements, negotiations, Aries. So with Mars in here, I might have said this last month, cut and sever, right? He might cut a contract. You might end a contract, or a contract might expire, right? And then you're moving into something brand new, which is a possibility with that new beginning in your house of work, house of how can I be of service, right? So lots of energy in the 6th house and the 7th house. And I will back up to Venus in Leo. I'll talk about that before I forget. But in your fifth house, really nice energy because she's pouring in beauty and love and harmony and money from your fifth house into your planets, placements, points, Aries, whatever you're watching for right now. So again, new love could be showing up, new creative projects could be showing up. I said should be showing up, but anyway, could be, should be. If you've had any rough times with your kids, like relationship quarrels or whatever you want to call it, fights, arguments, Venus in this area of life, she helps to smooth things over in this area of life. And same with when she hops into Virgo as well, she'll kind of help smooth over the work situation, the colleague situation. If you got some, I don't know, arguments, disputes with coworkers, she'll help smooth over wherever she goes in the birth chart. She kind of, again, brings in that harmony, brings in the beauty, brings in the donuts and the cookies and the diamonds and all that fun stuff, right? It's kind of like the icing on the cake. It makes everybody feel warm and fuzzy inside. And you could be getting money. Like if you have a side hustle here, Aries, you could be getting money. Again, this might have already happened last month because she did hop in this area of life at the end of August. So she's bringing that forward with regards to creative projects, creative endeavors, or again, something to do with your children. Maybe your children are getting benefits, or maybe your kids got that scholarship or funding, some sort of funding or loan came through maybe for your kids, but this could also be good news coming in for them as well. This is also grandchildren, you guys, too. So again, good news coming in for a grandchild or your children in particular, Aries. But yeah, really nice energy for business. If you own a business, run a business, it should be, I'm going to say, a profitable month ahead with Venus moving into your fifth house, if this is truly your fifth house. Okay. And yes, I want to jump to these eclipses here. Now, I'm going to do something different this month. I'm just going to kind of meld the energy together. And the reason why is because this is not a normal lunation cycle. Because when we're dealing with eclipses, all bets are off. You know, a new moon, technically I would say, oh, you got a brand new beginning, like I mentioned, brand new beginning in that sixth house of work. However, it could be endings and new beginnings. It could be both around this time because we have such concentrated energy this month around your sixth house and 12th house. So I'll start with the full moon total lunar eclipse in Pisces, 15 degrees on September 7th, give or take a day or two, depending on where you are on the planet. Now, this full moon does make a trine to Jupiter down in your fourth house. However, Jupiter, though, right now is challenging your Aries planets, placements, points, right? Challenging you to expand in this area of life. So again, it's hard to say if this energy is going to be, well, this energy is always working with us, they're reminding me. But this might challenge you to step outside your comfort zone in this area of life. Now, the 12th house is hidden. So some of you may feel this, some of you will not. And again, some of you, this might be bleeding out through that fourth house, a home, family, foundation, where Jupiter is. And I'm hoping because it's a trine, it will benefit your mental health and well-being, right? It'll help you psychologically move through this new change with a little bit more ease than, say, some of the other signs, for example. But again, I can't ignore the fact that Jupiter is still squaring your planets, placements, points, asking you to again, step outside of your comfort zone. But being in your fourth house, this could be, again, about family, your literal place of living, people that you live with. I'm hearing some of you need to break free of your living circumstances as well. So it could be, that could be involved with regards to this full moon. Now, the 12th house, this is about preparing for a brand new cycle. This is double, triple whammy of endings. So endings might be more prominent than new beginnings this month, Aries. Again, it's hard to say. They're just showing me that it's going to be a mixed energy between the 12th house and the 6th house this month. Like I said, this is a special month ahead. They're showing me it's not your typical eclipse month ahead. This one is definitely charged with different kinds of energy, and I can't even articulate it here. But anyway, let me move on. I don't want to get stuck on my words here. So endings and new beginnings definitely are on the table this month. This is about letting go, Aries, of something once and for all that's just not working for you. And this could be really any area of life because it is the hidden 12th house. And again, maybe connected to home family foundation, might be connected to an educational pursuit, higher learning, mentoring, teaching, coaching, something that you're trying to brush up on. Apprenticeship is over, so it's time to move into something new. It's time to test that skill set, they're saying as well. Where is your time, your energy, your effort being spent? Are you enjoying what you're doing, Aries? You know, are you enjoying your life? Maybe it's, again, they keep saying maybe it's time for a move or a renovation of your life, they're saying. 12th house of spirituality, awakenings. I have no doubt this eclipse cycle, Aries, is bringing forward some sort of new awakening. Some sort of new belief system is being ingrained here. Maybe it's time to let go of an old belief system and lean into something new. I'm not asking you to completely convert, you know, I'm hearing conversion. It may be about that. It might not be about that, right? But start small, they're saying. You don't have to go big. I know Aries likes to go big or go home, but they're saying just try it and you might be surprised, they're saying. 12th house is also dreams, solitude, healing behind closed doors. Just think of anywhere hidden, you know, like in the bush, off the grid, living, taking vacations off the grid, getting away for a while, clearing your head, clearing your thoughts. That might be a possibility for you this month. Actually, if you can do that this month, that would be amazing, especially for you folks. And if this is your true 12th house, because I feel like some of you you need to take a step back and reassess something. Now, what I always say about full moons, what do? They shine a spotlight in that opposite house. So I don't want to drive you nuts by repeating myself, but all that stuff I nattered off with your 6th house, it might not be about your 12th house. It might be about the 6th house. Because again, they're showing me these two energies are completely squashed together. It could go either way. And obviously free will plays a role. So it's sort of like they are asking you, how are you going to use this energy this month, Aries? So now I'm going to hop to that new moon. So on or around September the 21st, 29 degrees of Virgo. Very critical degree point. If you think back to last month, you guys, let me just check. Yeah, we had a new moon in Virgo, 0 degrees on August the 23rd, making a square to Uranus. So normally, I would say, yeah, this is, I mean, it still is. I shouldn't say normally. This is still very potent energy coming into the 6th house of crazy new beginnings. And again, as I mentioned, the 6th house is very, very, very busy. You know, your entire routine could be changed by the end of September or by the end of 2025 for that matter. Because again, eclipse season ripples out, you know, 5 to 6 months, or maybe changes have already taken place. And then September is the month where the dust is settling and you're sort of like, wow, look at all the change that I've gone through already. And then now you're incorporating those changes and you're getting yourself back into a brand new routine. So that could be a possibility as well. So very potent energy coming into your 6th house, Aries. An easy example would be, yeah, if you want to change jobs, that's probably going to happen. It might happen in unexpected ways. So I would say give it a chance. Definitely give it a chance. I'm hearing that loud and clear. Don't judge or don't judge, blah, blah, blah. Don't jump to conclusions. There we go. What they're trying to say is don't judge a book by its cover, but I didn't want to say that. I guess I should have just said that. But that's what they're saying to me. Okay, let's see here. This new moon is also very, very active and busy too. Let me see here. It's doing, first of all, it's back to back with the equinox, so that packs a punch as it is. Big on manifestation, you guys, but normally I would caution you trying to manifest on this new moon on the 21st, because things could go sideways really quick. It's best not to try to manifest on a new moon, but again, I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm just giving out my 2 cents, basically. If you feel the call to manifest and do a new moon ritual, do it. But if you don't, let this one pass. And then next month, we're going to have a new moon in Libra, which is your opposite sign. I would say that would be a better new moon to manifest. But again, lean into your intuition with this new moon eclipse and see what you're called to do. Otherwise, this new moon is, let's see here, it is opposing Saturn and Neptune in your sign, kind of. I mean, Saturn's right on that cusp there, just like Neptune. So it's bringing in energies of your 12th house and your first house. And it's making a trine, kind of a big air trine almost, to Uranus and Pluto as well. So I have no doubt this is going to be rapid change, incoming communication, or something for some of you to do with transportation. And obviously regeneration, I'm hearing, of something. Again, to do with that 6th house, right? Could involve friendship circles. Again, could involve 3rd house matters, siblings, cousins, neighbors, neighborhoods, place of living, like we talked about. So anyway, Aries, I'm going to wrap up there before I make this too long. But I hope that gives you kind of an idea of the multiple areas of life that are layered into these eclipses this month. I still think it's going to be a wonderful month ahead. It's just going to be powerful and potent. So enjoy the month ahead, Aries, and we'll see you back here in October. Bye for now. Hey, Taurus, let's talk about the month ahead for you. So let's first start where the sun is transiting or lighting up the areas of life for you. So your 5th house and 6th house is definitely going to be activated this month. So what is the 5th house, Taurus? All about children, your grandchildren. So again, think of a spotlight, light, heat, energy being infused into this area of life. This is also the house of love and romance and dating. So whether you are single and looking or you're in a committed relationship, if you are in a committed relationship, bring back the spark, bring in that new light, fun, flirty energy, Taurus. And if you're single and looking, my goodness, folks, put yourself out there. Please put yourself out there, because you have so much concentrated energy with the sun here, Mercury, you have an eclipse here. You also have Venus coming into this area of life as well in the middle of the month. So put yourself out there if you are looking for new love, because it's definitely on the table this month if you want that, right? This is where free will steps in. Do you want to make that commitment? Do you want to put yourself out there, or do you want to channel this into other avenues? So for example, if that does not resonate with you, this is the house of self-expression, creative projects, creative endeavors, putting yourself out there from a business standpoint, a side hustle standpoint, selling your little trinkets, or again, think of creating something, pulling something out of you and putting it out there, selling it, monetizing it. Or again, maybe it's free. Maybe your services are free and it just lights you up from the inside out with regards to helping other people, right? Yeah, for some reason I'm hearing volunteering. That's more 6th house, I would say, which does make sense, I guess, with the sun moving into your 6th house as well. But anyway, I'm also hearing something to do with volunteering. 5th house is also about joy. It's about bringing back, again, what lights you up, Taurus, from the inside out, taking a break, taking a vacation, spending time with your kids, getting to know your kids better, getting to know your grandkids all over again, or getting to know them better, or seeing them for the first time, that type of energy. Again, just think of the heart chakra being cracked wide open here with all this energy moving into the 5th house. Okay, so keep that in mind, because I'm going to come back to that, because again, we have an eclipse here. for you this month. And also you've had 2 new moons. We had a new moon last month at 0 degrees in this area of life. And now this month it's a 29-degree new moon. But this one is different because it's an eclipse. So there could be something you're not seeing clearly. So we'll come back to that here. And that's what eclipses do, by the way. I'm not just picking on you, Taurus. That's eclipses hide, conceal something for a reason. And then again, their energies unfold after, either before the day or after the day, like I said in the intro of the video here. Okay, so that is the 5th house. Now, once the sun moves into your 6th house, this is a really busy day-to-day house. So this is like driving the kids here, driving the kids there, day-to-day duty and responsibility at work. So what do you do on a 9-to-5 basis? I guess this is why I was also hearing volunteering. This is the house of how can I be of service? So whether you're working or not working, apply this to your circumstance. If you're not working, I do encourage you and challenge you to step outside of your comfort zone, help your local community, or help the greater good in some way, shape, or form, whether it's utilizing your time, your energy, your effort, your money, whatever the case may be, whatever you're able to do, but try to contribute something to the greater good. Why am I saying that? Because they're showing me it's going to light you up from the inside out. You're going to meet new people, places, things, they're saying, people, places, and things. And again, for those of you looking to meet someone new in a love relationship, again, the universe might align you with something while you're doing this, right? Anyway, 6th house is also people that work with you, people that work for you. So if you own a business, run a business, or if you work for an employer, this is also finding the right contractor to work with you, for you, or working around your house, for example. 6th house is also rental agreements. So if you own rental buildings or units, or if you yourself rent, again, that could be in the spotlight in some way, shape, or form. Your pets and animals are in the 6th house as well. And health and well-being is in the 6th house as well, Taurus. So busy month ahead, especially when the sun moves into Libra. So I would say take advantage of this beautiful energy right now, sitting in this 5th house, especially when Venus joins the party there. It's sort of like the energy of, for you this time of year when the sun moves into Libra, it's like back to school, back to routines, back to eating healthy, back to going to the gym. It's like all those mundane day-to-day stuff that you need to get back into a better routine or a more healthy routine. They're also saying some of you, it's getting back into a healthier, like a sleep routine, or like something to do with going to bed as well. Okay. Now let's jump to, also some of you could be ending a job this month with Mars cutting, ending, severing in your 6th house of Libra there. I might have mentioned it last month as well. Wherever Mars goes, he infuses that energy. So again, there could be changes in the workplace. There could be conflict in the workplace as well, but there's a reason that's happening, they're saying, because again, it's going to get people out, hopefully. If you own a business, run a business, maybe you need to cut people out. Maybe you need to cut people loose that are just not a fit, right? That would be appropriate with Mars moving through the sign of Libra. Now, Venus moving through the bottom of your sky this month. Again, she is also transiting Leo and Virgo as well for you. So Venus in the 4th house, beautifying the home, feng shui the home, push the furniture around, change the energy in the home. And I'm hoping your ruler at the bottom of your sky as well is helping to smooth over those energies in your home. So again, if there's any rifts or tiffs between you and your kids, or your spouse, or your loved one, or your parents, or whatever the case may be, hopefully Venus here will bring in that harmony to reconnect with your parents. Or maybe you as a parent is also going to appear to be a little bit more, how do I say it? Like you're going to come off more sweeter than you already are, Taurus, if that makes sense. That's kind of how they're showing me that your energy is going to shift a little bit. And again, once she moves into that 5th house, she's going to light up that area of life and bring in more joy and harmony and blessings and money. You can also get money from a side hustle as well, Taurus, for the month ahead when she moves into Virgo there, because again, she'll be trining your planet's placements points in Taurus. So hopefully she'll be bringing in, if it's not love, hopefully it's money. And if it's not money, it's love coming at you, coming towards you. And again, think about or consider beautifying your space possibly as well, getting it more comfortable for you or for the people that you live with or for your kids or whatever the case may be. Just watch the spending, right? Venus and Leo makes us go big or go home. So do watch out for that as well. But again, if you have the means to do so, I'd say have at it. But again, if you don't, if you're watching your pocketbook, if you're watching your money, then again, just something to keep in mind that she's going to want to make you go big, like buy really extravagant things. And then once she moves into Virgo, you might gut check yourself and be like, oh God, maybe I didn't need that $5,000 fuzzy carpet or something like that, Taurus. So anyway, okay, let's jump to the eclipses here. Now, it's interesting this month, they're showing me to combine the energies this month. So I'm going to talk about these eclipses in a different way than I usually do. So normally I would say, okay, it's a new moon, you have a new beginning in your 5th house, and then you have an ending in your 11th house. But they're showing me these two houses because it's on the same axes, right? It's where the North Node and South Node are. Pisces, you're welcoming in something new. Virgo, you're letting something go in this area of life. So we talked about that 5th house already. So I'm going to kind of blend these energies together, you guys. I hope you don't mind. That's how they're kind of showing me how to talk about it this month, because we could have multiple endings and new beginnings, regardless if it's a full moon or a new moon, if that makes sense. So let's start with the full moon. Total lunar eclipse, 15 degrees of Pisces. If you have 15 degrees of anything in Taurus or anything in Scorpio, I'm going to say this is going to add another layer to you. So for example, if it's your Taurus sun at 15 degrees or Taurus rising at 15 degrees, this could have something to do with your career. This could have something to do with your father or male like figures in your life, or bosses, or if you're a boss. If it's your rising, it could be love. It could be a business relationship, marriage, contracts, agreements, negotiations. If it's your rising, it's quite literally possibly your image or the health and well-being of your body, for example. So full moon in the 11th house, endings, culmination points, but again, they're saying there could be a new beginning here as well. So 11th house is older siblings, if you have them, friendship circles, groups, communities, associations, affiliations that you are connected to, whether personally or professionally. This is also memberships. This is your role within these groups or affiliations as well. So that could be up for some change, I'm thinking. Your hopes, your wishes, your dreams, your long-term goals and commitments. There's something being changed here and adjusted here. Again, this is the area where you're welcoming in something new, but in order for that to happen, you need to let something go either in this area of life or in that 5th house area of life that we talked about. 11th house is also social media, networking, whether online or literally rubbing shoulders with like-minded individuals. And the 11th house is also the future. Like anything to do with, again, the future, planning, putting yourself out there, things like that, Taurus. So clearly changes coming in this area of life. And also keep in mind, Saturn has backed in here as well, wrapping up a larger story that started way back in March of 2023. Now let's jump to that new moon. Again, new moon, but it could also be, again, an ending. I know it's tough to explain this month, you guys. I apologize, but that's how they're showing it to me. They're showing it to me as like almost like one lunation for this month. That's it. That's kind of how they're showing it to me. So the new moon partial solar eclipse in Virgo at 29 degrees, another critical degree point. Last month we had 0 degrees of Virgo, a new moon. The full moon is at 15 degrees, another critical degree point, and then 29 degrees of Virgo is like a potent ending, but then yet it's a new beginning. So you see what I mean? How the energy could go either way here. So we talked about your fifth house, endings and new beginnings with children, grandchildren. So something to do with their lives. Okay. I'm not saying something bad is going to happen to them, but there's going to be endings and new beginnings with them, if that resonates with you. So again, partnerships, new love relationships coming in. For some of you, this could be new people, this could be old people, meaning from the past. Not literally an old person. So sorry about that. They're just showing me new and old, new and old, new and old. So it could be either or, right? It's a general reading. So again, take what resonates, leave the rest. Starting a side hustle, monetizing something. Again, going back to Taurus, what lights you up from the inside out? This is the area of life when we were a child and they say to us in school, in grade 3, whatever it is, what do you want to be when you grow up? That's what the universe is asking you right now, Taurus. What do you want to be? How do you want to start expressing yourself? Where do you want to go? Where do you want to be? Who do you want to be? These eclipses, if this is your rising sign you're watching for, these eclipses are hitting your identity, your physical body, and also your love line as well. So again, anything can happen, Taurus. I know I threw out a lot of examples there, so I hope at least one thing resonates for you for the month ahead. But I'm going to close out now. I still think this is going to be a powerful month ahead. I don't think it's a bad thing, to be honest, you guys. There's a lot of us that need this. We need the shake up, the wake up, the change coming in. I know you're a fixed sign, so you probably don't like hearing that. But just know, as I mentioned at the beginning of these videos, this is happening for us, you guys. It's not working against us. It's us that works against the energy. So try to let it go, let it flow, and be open to the new possibilities and opportunities. Because technically these eclipses are making nice, harmonious energy to all the water signs and all the earth signs. Unless you're a Pisces or a Virgo, that can get kind of intense. But I'm thinking if you have Capricorn placements, Scorpio placements, Cancer placements, again, this energy is bringing forward opportunities to your doorstep. And it's sort of like, what are you going to do with these opportunities, Taurus? So I'm going to close out there. Enjoy the month ahead, Taurus, and we'll see you back here in October. Bye for now. Hey Gemini, let's talk about the month ahead, and I want to start with the sun and what 2 areas of life he is pouring in light, heat, and energy. So I'm thinking maybe your attention will be going into these 2 areas of life, which I think it will be, because you have a loaded 4th house, plus on top of it, you're a mutable sign, Gemini. So guess what? These eclipses are activating all your big angles in your birth chart. Now, that's if these are your true angles of your birth chart. Okay, so always keep in mind, take what resonates, leave the rest, because maybe perhaps these eclipses are not hitting your big angular houses. But using the whole sign system here, they are, my friends, they are. So if you are a Gemini, a Pisces, a Sag, or a Virgo, your entire life could be shifted and changed by the time 2027 comes around. And you're going to look back and be like, look at all the change I've gone through in the past 2 years. It's gonna blow your mind, you know, in a good way, my friends, in a good way. I personally love eclipses because it's like fast tracking something. I love working with eclipses. So anyway, let's dive into it here. The sun is still moving through your 4th house of home, family, roots, the past, ancestry, where you come from, so to speak, where you came from, where you come from. Now keep in mind that could be galactic, okay, my friends, because some of them are showing me that, some of them. Yeah, there's like a bunch of them here lined up. It could be past Earth lives or past lives with other, they're showing me like other planets, other galaxies. I could go on and on and on. But anyway, I know some of you don't believe in that. So again, take what resonates and leave the rest. So the past, the deep past, I'll say, your roots, property, retirement is also in the 4th house. Parents, you as a parent, your parents in general, parenthood, what does that mean to you, for you, Gemini? So keep that in mind, because this is where, I'm going to come back to this, but this is where you have an eclipse in this area of life, but I will come back to that. Now, once the sun moves into Libra, I think you're going to like this energy a little bit more because it's not squaring your energy. So right now, for example, the sun in Virgo, Mercury in Virgo, and once Venus joins the party in Virgo, this is actually challenging your aspects, right? Challenging your sun, challenging your rising sign, challenging your moon sign, whatever you're watching for right now. These planets are making you, they're applying pressure to you for a reason, for you to take action on something or someone related to that fourth house that I talked about. And also Uranus in your sign, again, you're going to be feeling this energy for 7 years, right? We'll talk about it again. He's in there for now, but he will backtrack into your 12th house. But I'm just saying all of these planets are really sort of putting pressure on you, Gemini, to lean into what you want to do, what lights you up from the inside out, right? So when I say challenge you, it just means a square. I personally love squares. If we didn't have squares, we would all be marshmallows on the couch, okay? Just like Mars. If we didn't have Mars, I actually don't really know what we would do, to be honest. So anyway, I know I'm saying this to a sign that's ruled by Mercury, so probably a lot of you are like, I don't understand what you're talking about. But anyway, once all this energy pours into Libra is what I'm trying to get at. I think you'll like this energy a little bit more because it's going to flow into your sign a little bit easier. So you do have Mars in there right now in Libra, which is, again, lighting up this fifth house of romance and dating and sex and creative projects and creative endeavors and your kids. And basically side hustles too, if those of you run a side hustle or want to start a side hustle. Mars in here and all this energy pouring into your fifth house can make that happen, or can help you, give you the drive, the stamina, the confidence to put yourself out there. Same with dating, my friends. If those of you that are looking to meet somebody new, put yourself out there, please. Please do me a favor. Put yourself out there. They could actually be closer than you think. This person could be in your local vicinity. So put yourself out there if you do want to attract a partner into your life, if you are interested. If you're already connected with someone, it's about, Mars here is asking you to reignite that spark, or go on a, they're saying a day trip or a day date, if that makes sense. Probably something to do with Venus in Leo as well. So lots of concentrated energy in this fourth house, fifth house. And of course, fourth house, fifth house, different type of energy. Fourth house can feel a little bit heavier. Fifth house is like bringing back the light and the joy and the fluff and the romance and the dating and all that. It's like cotton candy versus, I don't know, just something a little bit more heavier and dense, and like, think of a heavy, dense, sweet dessert versus like cotton candy. I don't know why they're showing me that, but anyway, yeah, I'm not really sure. But anyway, lots of nice energy pouring into the foundation of your chart. Plus you have Venus in your third house as well in Leo. Now she is going to shift into that fourth house that we already talked about. But when she's in Leo, again, she's bringing in opportunities from that third house. Again, could be love locally, like I mentioned. For those of you that are looking to buy a new vehicle, Venus here, I would just caution you, you might go really extravagant. So you might need to kind of rein yourself in a little bit here, because she'll want to spend a lot of money. Same with gadgets. Like if you need new technology, computers, equipments, cameras, microphones, phones, laptops, whatever, she can make you spend a lot of money. And then when she moves into Virgo, you might kind of go, why did I just spend $1,500 on a laptop when I could have probably got one for $600 or something like that, right? You guys, like, that's obviously just an example, but just think, she wants to go big in this area of life, right? Same with trips and traveling. You could be doing that. this month as well, which looks very positive. However, again, watch the spending, right? I don't want to sound like a mother hen. Now, if you have the means to do so, I'd say, yeah, go big. Go. She's going to make you want to go lavish, right? This is also showering your partner and loved ones and kids with goodies, right? Diamonds and chocolates and luxury vacations, and again, luxury cars can be found with Venus in Leo transiting your third house to Gemini. So just some stuff to keep in mind, but really nice energy coming in for siblings, for relatives, for cousins, for neighbors, neighborhoods, nice connections here that you're going to make with these individuals as well. Okay, let's jump to these lunations now this month, because that's sort of the big news for the month ahead. Okay, how they're showing me this month is kind of unusual, because how they're showing me this energy is like one ginormous super moon or new moon or something like that. They're showing me just one lunation this month. So what I'm doing in this video for this month is putting these two together. It's hard to explain, but that's how they're showing this energy to me. So we will start with the full moon. So normally I say, what are full moons? Endings, culmination points, right? There's something ending at the top of your sky, Gemini. This is career endeavors. This is, again, could be retirement or thoughts of a retirement or moving into retirement. This is kind of the final straw energy, like see you later, I'm moving into something new, right? And it might not be retirement. This is endings and new beginnings on the career front. Your reputation, something about your reputation is changing or mutating, they're saying as well. Again, Saturn back in here is testing and crystallizing something in your 10th house. Now, if you're not working, again, how are you being of service, I would say? How do you spend your day to day? What does your 9 to 5 look like? Do you watch the grandkids? Do you take care of a spouse or a partner? Are you a caregiver? Do you walk the dogs? Do you paint the houses? Do you, like, what do you do? Are you a traveler? Do you travel the globe? You know, sort of, what is your 9 to 5? What are you known for, right? Like, how do you put yourself out there is kind of what is on, they're saying display, but what I was going to say was in the spotlight. Okay. So if that makes sense, this could also be something to do with your parents, Gemini. If you didn't mention that earlier with regards to your 4th house, when we talked about that, mother, father, authority figures, bosses, you as a boss, you as an authority figure, if that resonates, or again, it could be you as a parent. Something about your parenting style will need to evolve or change, or I'm thinking some of you got kids leaving the nest, or maybe grandkids leaving the nest, or something along those lines. Changes on the home front, people moving in, people moving out, renovations, literal moves, things like that, Gemini. And forgive me, I know I'm bouncing around here, but they're showing me there could be endings, new beginnings in the 10th house, endings and new beginnings on the 4th house, right? And because, as I mentioned, you're a mutable sign, this could also bleed out into your rising sign and your relationships as well. So this could be endings and new beginnings with relationships. Status means, again, who are you married to? Who are you connected to, right? Some of us are wrapped up in the identity of our spouse. So who would you be without your partner, right? And I don't mean that disrespectfully. So don't take it, please don't take it that way, Gemini. That's kind of how they're showing me, is maybe some of you are leaving a relationship and that changes your identity, right? That changes your status. That's the 10th house. Like, people get married when Saturn is in the 10th house. So maybe some of you have gotten married over the past couple years with Saturn in your 10th house. Again, that's putting a ring on it. That's solidifying something. Maybe you started a business, you own a business, you run a business. That's solidifying something, right? Solidifying something in your career. Crystallizing your hopes, your wishes, your dreams into your career, right? Saturn coming back, he's kind of giving you one of these, like test, 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 test. How's that foundation treating you there, Gemini? I just realized you probably didn't see me nudging. I was doing this with my elbow. Yeah, that's how they're showing me, like you up in a tower and then Saturn's going to come along and shake it just to make sure you know where you want to be, Gemini. Okay, so I know that's a lot that I nattered off. So do forgive me. but I want to try to cover off as many examples as possible. Also keep in mind this is 15 degrees, my friends. If you have anything at 15 degrees or 29 degrees, you're going to feel this a lot because this is squaring your energy. So if it's your sun, it could be your career or father-like figures, or your health and well-being, your vitality. If it's your moon, it's something to do with home, family, foundation, or the mother or female figures in your life. If it's your rising, it's your body. It's your health, how you're taking care of your vessel, Gemini. Again, your identity, they're showing me, right? Changes to the identity, changes to what you are known for, right? Are you a lawyer and you suddenly become a baker, open up a bake shop, or vice versa? Sorry, or vice versa, right? Maybe you're a caregiver and suddenly you go back to school and you become, I don't know, sorry, they're showing me a card deck, like that, like an old school card deck. So I don't know, I guess it's like be whoever you want to be, Gemini. Yeah, you're connected. Something to do with the justice system with you, I keep hearing as well. Something to do with legalities or legal matters. There's probably something to do with Pluto. But anyway, let me go back to that new moon now. Or let's wrap up with this new moon here. So new moon, partial solar eclipse in Virgo at 29 degrees on or around September 21st. And the very next day we have the equinox, or within a few hours, I should say, we have the equinox there when the sun moves into Libra. So normally I would say, Gemini, set your intentions around this new moon, blah, 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 blah. I don't recommend that unless you feel called to do this. The reason why I say that is because we're not seeing something clearly during eclipses. That's why I always caution people, try to avoid doing anything big literally on the day. If you can push it off, that would be better. If you can't, you can't. I understand it. We can't stop our lives because of the sky, because of astrology. But you're just not seeing something clearly. So try your best to avoid making big decisions on the 7th and the 21st of the month, or again, whatever day these are happening for you. Is it the 6th? Is it the 8th? Is it the 20th? Is it the 22nd? Right? Okay, we talked about the 4th house. Technically, this is a new beginning in your 4th house, I would say. But it could be endings and new beginnings because this is at the South Node. This is where technically you got to let something go, Gemini. You got to let something go once and for all from the past. Something from the past needs to end and die once and for all. Or some of you are moving into retirement or planning retirement, or this is quite literally a big house move, not just down the street. I'm thinking this is big, like maybe even moving countries, maybe even moving abroad. Because you just think about it. You've had 2 new moons in the foundation of your sky. You had one last month and you have another one this month, but this is an eclipse. So this is just a different energy that could be coming in. And again, they're telling me some of you it's new beginnings and some of you it's endings. Like I mentioned, that's how they're kind of showing the energy to me this month. But regardless, Gemini, I'm very excited for you. I'm excited for all the mutable signs, because for those of you that want to get out of a rut and change your life and change your circumstances, change your relationships, change your job, move into financial freedom, this is it, you guys. Like, I'm not saying this month, but like this cycle, 2025, 2026 is so potent for all the mutable signs, for all of us too. But for you folks, you're going to get the big nudge, the big shove to make this happen for you. So lean into that, Gemini. Lean into that change. I encourage you. And anyway, I could go on and on and on here, but I want to be conscious of time. So Gemini, enjoy the month ahead, and we're going to see you back here in October. Bye for now. Hey, Cancer, let's talk about the month ahead for you and where I think your focus will be for the month ahead. So I'm going to start with the 3rd house, Cancer. I'm going to natter off a bunch of stuff. I want you to keep that in the back of your mind, because this is where you have an eclipse for the month ahead. And we're going to talk about both houses that are being activated this month. This month is very unique. They're showing me it's as if we're having just one major lunation this month, not two. So I'm going to meld the two houses together. But first, let's break down this third house. So lots of energy in here. You have the sun, you have Mercury, you have a brand new beginning. And also keep in mind, you had a new beginning here last month. New moon in Virgo at 0 degrees, making a square to Uranus. This month, it's at 29 degrees. So the epitome of endings and new beginnings, like a breaking point, they're showing me something coming up from the earth, like something that is going, it's like upheaval, right? But not in a bad way. Okay, Cancer. So lots and lots of potent energy in here. And on top of it, it's making opportunity aspects to your planet's placements points, whatever you're watching for right now. So these eclipses are happening in earth and water signs, which is technically nicer energy coming into your sign, Cancer, than let's say the mutable signs like Gemini and Sag and Pisces and Virgo. This eclipse cycle is bringing in a lot more tension or breaking points for them, where this should flow a little bit easier, but it doesn't mean it's going to be a cakewalk, Cancer. So I don't want you to think that this is all butterflies and sunshine. Eclipses can be intense. Eclipses are rapid change coming in. So this third house it's a busy house. It's the mind. It's how you digest information. It's how you speak or articulate yourself. This is communication in general. So think about technology and gadgets and laptops and computers and phones and how you communicate, right? Text messages, emails, things like that. That could really be picking up this month as well. Third house is also educational pursuits. This is the education access period. So whether you're going to school, finishing up school, or upgrading your skill set is a possibility, or thinking of doing something like this. This is like, some of you polishing your skill set, they're saying. Third house is transportation. So my friends, some of you may need to get a new vehicle. I know personally this eclipse cycle, I'm not a Cancer, but this eclipse cycle is hitting also my third house. And yep, I bought a new vehicle and it came in so fast. It made my head spin. I didn't know if I made the right decision, but now that the dust settled, I know I made the right decision. So some of you are being nudged to upgrade either your technology, how you're using technology, how you're using social media, or quite literally how you're getting around could be up for some change. So whether that is a new vehicle, or again, maybe the vehicle is going to get parked and you're now going to start taking the train, right? This is planes, trains, and automobiles, right? So how you get around in your local environment, your local community, could be up for some change as well, Cancer. This is also the house of siblings. So I'm going to say, I think your siblings could be going through some big changes with this cycle that, again, started early 2025, even late 2024, I'm going to say, and it's going to take us well into 2027. So keep that in mind. This isn't a one and done thing. These are eclipse cycles. So they're usually 2 years. Some of them will ripple out longer, of course. So this may not be about you. This may be about a sibling, maybe about a relative. It may be about a cousin or an extended family member that could be either in the spotlight this month or could be going through a lot of that rapid change. Also, traveling. Yeah, Cancer, this is the axis of either short distance traveling, so your local community, your local vicinity, or long distance traveling as well. And for some of you, this could even indicate a move, because the IC does float, either third house, fourth house, fifth house, the home line can float. And for some of you, especially with this eclipse at 29 degrees, this could be a relocation for you, or people coming into your home, people leaving the home, things like that, changes in the home. So that could also bring in a flavor as well. So yeah, lots of energy pouring into this third house. Now, once the sun moves into the fourth house, this is where Mars is, by the way. So I don't know if any of you are doing renovations in the home, this is excellent energy when Mars is shaking, rattling, and rolling down in your fourth house. So really nice energy for demolition and again, just getting the work done, so to speak, because Mars will give you that antsy type of energy to just beautify the home, beautify your space, and just get it done, so to speak. So once the sun moves into the fourth house, this is turning your attention to home matters, family matters, children, again, place of living. They're showing me the literal foundations of your home. So again, maybe some of you are working on the home or plumbing or restructuring the home, whatever the case may be. This is also the roots, your roots, I should say, not the roots, but your roots. This is kind of the roots of the chart, I should say. So this is the past. This is ancestry. This is where you came from, so to speak. That could be in the spotlight. You as a parent could be in the spotlight. Your parenting style could be in the spotlight. Your parents could be coming up as well. So mother, father, authority figures, if they're still with us. And even they're even showing me like grandparents as well could be in focus, or again, this is where your energy and attention is going to be flowing once the sun moves into Libra, Cancer. So I know that's a lot I talked about. That's sort of where the focus I'm thinking will be for the month ahead for you. And I will come back to the eclipse here that's happening in this area of life as well. So Venus in Leo is really nice energy for you, Cancer. This is lighting up your house of money. So money and work should be coming into your life. If you're looking for a job, I would say put yourself out there. Keep putting yourself out there with Venus moving through this area of life because it makes you look good. It's Venus here is continuing to make you look good while she's transiting the sign of Leo. Also, I'm going to put it out there. This is a placement where you're going to want to spend a lot of money. So again, depending on your circumstances, excuse me, I'm not going to preach, but if you have the money to spend, you're going to want to like spend it all type of thing, right? But then once she moves into Virgo, it might be kind of a gut check for you, Cancer. So I just wanted to put that out there. But I mean, this is really good for beauty treatments. Cancer, if you want to do anything to do with the face or fix up your teeth, they're showing me, or just beauty enhancements, right? Like anything that you want to do to make yourself feel good and beautiful, that's really nice energy coming in with Venus moving through your second house of the face, of the teeth, like fixing yourself up, so to speak, beautifying yourself, glamorizing yourself. But this is good for money too. Money, work, harmony coming into the workspace. This could also be spending money on, as I mentioned, brushing up your skill set. The second house is that as well. And your savings account, hopefully with Venus in here, will help. You'll be able to monetize something, right? Make money on something, so to speak. This could also be buying and selling, right? So lining your pockets that way. But this is also the transit of, like I said, you could sell something, but buy something just as quick. Okay, so that's kind of the foundation of your chart, second house, third house, fourth house that's being lit up, Cancer. Let's jump to these eclipses. Now, as I mentioned, they're showing me this energy is melded together. So this month is different. Normally, I would say, okay, you got endings and new beginnings, endings in your ninth house, new beginnings in your third house. But they're showing me it's not that simple this month. It's way more complex, and not that that's a bad thing, but they're just saying there's more layers to these eclipses that meets the eye. At the end of the day, Cancer, if you can, avoid making any big purchases or any big decisions on September the 7th specifically, or September the 21st. But please check where these fall, wherever you live on the planet, okay? Because the dates I have on the screen here, I'm in Eastern time zone. That's where I pull my dates from. So double check, but I just usually caution, pump the brakes on these days. Schedule lightly on these days. After these days, that's fine. But on the day, we're usually not seeing something clearly. We're not, and especially you, this is landing in the house of the mind. Text messages, communications, things like that. There's just something that you might be missing. Not saying it's going to be catastrophic. We cannot stop our lives, right? So you do you, Cancer. You're a very intuitive sign, just like all the other water signs. So I would say go with your intuition versus logic this month, because your intuition, I think, will be on point versus logic. By the way, you're ruled by the moon. So you and Leo are always greatly impacted by eclipses. Leo's ruled by the sun, you're ruled by the moon. You're the only two signs that are ruled by these luminaries that never go retrograde, and they're constantly in motion. They're constantly going. So, and you're constantly there for other people, by the way, but I don't want to get on that soapbox. I always get on that soapbox with you, Cancer. So, that's what I mean about it's very potent for you and Leo to take a step back on these days, because yeah, your ruler is being blocked. Your ruler is being kind of like blindfolded just temporarily, and then they move on, right? The energy moves on. Okay, let's start with the full moon total eclipse, lunar eclipse in Pisces at 15 degrees. Keep in mind, Cancer, anything around 15 degrees, anything around 29 degrees of your sign is going to add an additional layer here to the story. If it's your sun sign, it could be your career. If it's your rising sign, it could be your health, vitality, well-being, how you're taking care of your vessel. If it's your moon, it could be to do with home, family, foundation, place of living. Something to do with your parents as well, or grandparents as well. Yeah, and I'm also hearing for some reason something to do with your kids. This could be a big month ahead, maybe for your kids, or depending on what their sign is, this could be an impactful month for them as well with regards to endings and new beginnings. So you have a full moon at the sort of the top of your chart here in the 9th house. So what is the 9th house? It's religion, it's spirituality, it's legal situations, legal matters like dealing with lawyers or the justice system or the court system. Could be dealing with citizenship, immigration, paperwork, things like that, like things overseas. This is higher education. This is teaching. This is going back to school or finishing up school, like apprenticeship is over. And now it's time to move these energies into your career. Saturn is also asking you to do that as well, backing into this area of life, crystallizing something, solidifying something so you can take it into your career in 2026. So that could be a possibility as well. What else here? Long distance traveling, long distance trips, like I mentioned. Your ethics, your belief systems could be up for some change. Anything to do with foreign lands, foreign shores, foreign cultures, international matters. So again, think about paperwork as well. Because yeah, I think some of you maybe even could be moving overseas. Dealing with people from all over the globe. Pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone, Cancer. So this is a big area of life for you, my friends. Plus on top of it, it's making harmonious aspects to your planets, placements, points in Cancer. But like I mentioned, it doesn't mean it's going to be a cakewalk, because these planets are challenging you to step outside of your comfort zone and welcome in something new in this area of life and let go something in that 3rd house once and for all, right? Again, this is a bigger cycle, Cancer. This is not just about the month of September. This is a story that's going to continue to unfold until 2027, believe it or not. Now, that new moon at the bottom of your sky. So we talked about that 3rd house, right? The mind, communication, technology, transportation, how you speak, how you chew on information and digest information. It's the conscious mind. Education, brushing up your skill set, going back to school, finishing up school, siblings, cousins, relatives, neighbors, your community, your local vicinity. Social media, how do you use social media? Text messages, communications flying in, short distance traveling. So local, think local, but also it could be global, right? So these two areas of life, my friends, endings and new beginnings here. Yes, a new moon, like I said, is usually a new beginning, but this is at the South Node, and the South Node is something you got to let go of. So you see what I mean, why they're showing me where there's an ending, there has to be a new beginning. So these two houses are going to be melded together this month of possibilities that are coming into your sign, Cancer. So Virgo provides opportunities to you, Cancer. So it's sort of like, this is where free will comes in. It's your decision. Like, what do you want to do in these respective areas of life? How do you want to change these respective areas of life? And you take those next steps to do that. And the universe is going to meet you halfway with that in making those changes and incorporating those changes, Cancer. So enjoy the month ahead, my friends. That's all I wanted to sort of concentrate or talk about for the month ahead. Really nice energy coming in, you guys. Yes, it is eclipse season. Yes, it can be intense, but once the dust settles, you're going to thank your future self. Your future self will thank you. There we go. I said that backwards. Your future self will thank you, they're saying. So take those leap of faith on something or someone. Push yourself outside of your comfort zone and create the life you want in these respective areas of life that we talked about. And again, it's a journey, my friends. Don't think it's all going to happen this month or has to happen this month. It's a journey. So take those baby steps to change your life in some way, shape, or form. All right, enjoy the month ahead, and we'll see you back here in October. Bye for now. Hey Leo, welcome to September, and let's talk about where I think your focus will be for the month ahead. But first, what I want to talk about is Venus moving through your first house or your sign, making a connection to either your sun, your moon, or your rising, or whatever you're watching for the sign of Leo. So Venus in the first house, Leo, makes you very magnetic. It makes you very beautiful, whether you do anything or not. People are just drawn to you, that moth to the flame type of energy. I find Leos are like that anyway, regardless, because especially if your sun in Leo, it's like that lumination, that luminary piece of it, right? Because you are ruled by the sun. Risings as well. You're very magnetic and you attract in, especially at that opposing point of your birth chart of Aquarius there. So anything that even touches that descendant sign, again, boof, it's like a tractor beam. They come right at you, right? So Venus in the first house just amps up that energy, my friends. So let me tell you, use this to your advantage. So August 25th, she hopped in here and she's going to stay here until around the 19th of the month. I mean, even when she moves into the second house, which we'll talk about, is still an attractor type of energy because she's going to line your pockets, right? Venus moving into a money house, usually good news, but also beauty treatments, right? The second house is like the face. So again, beautifying your image, your wardrobe, your hair, whatever you want to do, get some injections, some Botox, I don't know, get a little nip and a tuck here and there. Leo, my point is you have sort of the green light for the next, I'm going to say 8 weeks, because Venus moving through your first house and your second house usually is beneficial for that. And then I'll get into the eclipses here because you also have an eclipse in your second house as well. But I just wanted to start off with that because, yeah, Venus in the first house is just such beautiful energy. If you have to do interviewing, if you have to do a pitch to a client, this is really good for love, by the way. You guys, again, you're attracting in that partner, especially with Pluto in your opposite sign, my friends. If you are single, I know this sounds cliche. I know it sounds goofy and silly, but you will find somebody. You will find someone with Pluto in your opposite seventh house, and they're going to be extremely powerful and potent characters that are going to be coming your way, whether in love or in business. And again, Venus in that first house, use that to your advantage. Leo, again, really good energy for interviewing, pitching, trying to sell yourself. Go. I don't mean that in a weird way, by the way. But again, if you own a business, we're selling ourselves, right? Just like me, I'm selling a service of astrology and tarot readings, and I'm a Leo sun. So it's like, yes, I am selling a service. So may the souls that are called to me come to me type of thing, right? So I'll use myself as an example of what I mean by selling yourself. I know that sounds bad, but I hope you know what I'm talking about. Or go after that raise, I'm thinking as well, because Venus rules your 10th house of career, Leo. So if there's ever a time to go after that raise or bonus or commission or whatever the case may be, Venus in the first house should really help you with that. And then when she moves into the second house, it's kind of like payday is coming. It's like, there we go, lining the pockets, buying, selling material possessions as well. Okay, so I wanted to start off with that so I don't forget about her moving through the first house, because it's so powerful for anyone that has Venus moving through the first house. Okay, let's talk about the sun, your ruler, by the way, as I already mentioned. So the second house, third house type of energy. Keep in mind when I'm going to talk about the second house, you have an eclipse here. So we're going to come back to this energy. So what is the second house? It's money. It's work. The house, it's one of the work houses. Second, 6th, 10th are work houses. This is your finances. This is your relationship to your finances, your relationship to your savings account or bank account if you have them. Also your income as well. So how does money flow to you, for you, with you? How do you earn a living? So if you're not working, how do you pay the bills? How do you pay the tax bill, the light bill, your phone bill, the television, the gas in your car, electricity in your car, you know, whatever. How does money come to you? How do you stand on your own 2 feet? That's the way I look at the second house. It's about how we make money. But again, I'm going to come back to this, because this eclipse cycle is also about how your partner earns a living as well. Second house is also buying and selling material possessions, my friends. So if you do need to buy or sell, a good time to do so, especially with the sun here, Mercury here, and then Venus will eventually hop in here. But my only caution, and I don't want to sound like a Debbie Downer, is watch the price tag, okay? Venus in Leo makes us want to go big or go home, right? It's like buying, you go shopping for a caravan and you come home with a 2-seater sports car and you got a family of 6. Right, Leo? So it's that type of energy where sometimes we can go overboard with our finances. But again, if you have the means to do so, go nuts, right? This is like lavishing your family with jewels and chocolate and cotton candy and all the good things in life and luxurious trips and cruises and all these things, right? But for those of us that are counting our pennies or stuffing the money under our mattress, if people still do that, or bury it in the backyard, if people still do that, just be mindful. Because again, Venus moving through a money house, guess what? We want to make ourselves feel good. And what do we reach for? That credit card, for that experience, right? We're paying for the experience. And again, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, you guys. You know, vacations and things like that are, to me, money well spent. But everybody has a different opinion on that, right? And it depends on where you are, what your age is, if you're retired or working or not, whatever. Again, take what resonates and leave the rest. Second house is also, again, things that belong to you. And Leo, forgive me, I'm going to jump around here a bit, but the South Node here, something's got to go. Something that you own right now that you haven't yet let go of. Maybe some of you already have. But for those of you, you have this gnawing at you, like something's got to go, something's got to give. It could be your job. It could be a material possession. Again, do you really need, you know, those 6 sports cars in the garage? Do you really need all those properties that you have? Do you really need 6 boats or whatever, right? I'm being extreme here, but you know what I mean? The South Node in the second house is something you got to let go of. Maybe you have to let go of a career. Maybe you have to let go of a skill set and pick up a new skill set, right? So that's where some of your focus is going to be this month. Now, once the sun moves into the third house, this is, by the way, pouring really nice energy into your Leo planets, placements, points. This is a very social energy for you, Leo. You're going to love it. You probably have liked this energy since Mars hopped in here beginning of August, kind of ramping up that social networking type of energy. Third house is social media, how you use social media. It's how you communicate. It's how you articulate. It's how you chew on information, digest information. Also, yeah, I probably mentioned it last month. Mars in here, you might have a heavy foot. For those of you that drive, watch out for speeding tickets and things like that, because yeah, you could be heavy on the pedal, heavy on the metal and the pedal there. So third house is also siblings, cousins, neighbors, your relationships with these people, your community, your local vicinity. Third house is also traveling as well. More so local, more so, within your local town, city, state. I was going to say province, but our provinces are ginormous. So hey, if that's local, I guess that could be local. But the focus is local, not really so much on global, is what I'm getting at here. So that's going to be your focus for the month ahead, Leo. I think, definitely busyness comes to mind, especially when the Sun and Mercury move into your third house. Communication, text messages, things like that. I'm hearing some of you are going to hear from somebody from the past. Yeah, that came in loud and clear, especially when Mercury moves into Libra. So somebody that you haven't heard from in a long time, like an old neighbor, an old friend, an old lover. It is Libra after all. By the way, for those of you looking to meet someone new, yes, Venus in the first house is magnetic. Mars in the third house means that you could find a partner locally. Again, focuses on local, not so much finding love overseas, so to speak. Or again, finding love on social media platforms or through people that you already know, like friends, family, neighbors, neighborhoods, things like that. Okay, Leo, I want to jump to these eclipses now. So this month is unique. How they're showing the energy to me is that these two areas of life that we're going to talk about, they're being melded together. So normally I would say, oh, there's a full moon in your 8th house. There's an ending, a culmination. Oh, there's a new moon in your 2nd house. Plant those seeds of intention. What do you want to manifest in this area of life? But they're showing me that's not the case this month. There could be endings and new beginnings in the 8th house, endings and new beginnings in the 2nd house. So not the best lunations to try to manifest something, Leo. You and Cancer have something in common. Both of your rulers never go retrograde. Never, ever, ever go retrograde. You always have to be on. You and Cancer always have to be on, right? Because your rulers never take a step back like the rest of the signs. So think about that. Now, where it comes to the potency of these eclipses is that you and Cancer are heavily impacted by them. Why? Because your ruler is eclipsed. There's like something you're not seeing. There's something you're not seeing clearly around the eclipses, Leo. And I said the same thing to Cancer too. So if you have any planets, placements, points in Cancer, this energy is extra ramped up for you too, Leo. So say you're watching for your Leo moon and you have a stellium in Cancer. Well, I would say, again, try not to make any big decisions on the eclipse day, like on the specific day. So I have them on the slide here, the 7th and the 21st, my friends. If you can, it's like pack lightly on that day. Schedule lightly. Notice what you're noticing. Move slower that day. Just be in the body that day as best as you can. You might feel foggy. You might feel off. Like I said, I'm a Leo sun. I really feel these days and it's weird. It's weird energy. Like I just feel like off all day. And then the next day I'm usually fine. It just lifts, right? So again, everyone's going to experience this differently and it depends on what you're watching for. But I know if you are a Leo moon or a Leo sun, you in particular might feel this even more than a rising. Rising, it depends on how in tuned you are to your body, my friends. That's why I'm saying it depends on the lunation you're watching for, or I should say, I guess your ruler or whatever you have in Leo. Regardless, you should feel this if you pay attention to it. If you don't, it'll just be like any other day, right? So with that said, and again, you guys, life can't stop. I get it. If you have a big appointment on one of these days, it is what it is, right? Just again, move slower. That would be my only intention, or my only suggestion, I should say, is if you have to sign on the dotted line with anything big, If you can put it off to the next day, great. And if you can't, don't worry about it. It just means there's something you're not seeing clearly if you have to do something big on this day in particular. Also, not the best new moon to manifest. It'll likely come out sideways, especially for you, Leo, and for the Cancers out there, because again, this is your luminaries that are involved here, and your luminaries are blindfolded. They don't know what's going on. So you're basically signing blind. You don't know what you're signing, right? So, or you're just, again, you're foggy, you're not feeling it. There's something off and you're not following your intuition. So I would recommend lean into your intuition this month, but I get it. That's easier said than done, my friends. So, okay, let's jump into now talking about the axes that's being lit up here. So you have a full moon, total lunar eclipse, 15 degrees of Pisces. And this is in your 8th house. So 8th house is a bit of a heavy house. It's a deep, intense house. It's a psychological house. So it could be conscious, but it could also be subconscious. Or what I'm thinking, because it's a full moon, things bubbling up into your awareness, into your conscious mind. And you're like, oh, well, where did that come from, right? It's kind of like being blindsided by a thought, like, or a feeling, or an intuitive hit. 8th house is also big life transformational change, which fits well with these eclipses. Also, this is the house of sort of like death and rebirth, right? The phoenix rising. So it ties into that big life change, big life shift. 8th house is also the mundane day-to-day financial stuff that we have to deal with. So like taxes, debts, loans. This is also shared finances and resources that we have with a marriage partner, a common law partner, family, friends, loved ones, anyone we are in bed with, literally or metaphorically, when it comes to a sexual partner, a marital partner, or a business partner, for example. Property. Again, joint property. Think of joint property, joint assets, joint material possessions. 8th house is also inheritance. 8th house is also shadow work. This is, again, deep intimacy, sexuality, passion, fear, sex, control issues could be coming up at this time as well. Or old fears. Again, think of stuff bubbling up from the surface, right? So this is where the North Node is. So this is where you're welcoming in something new, and also Saturn backed in here to wrap something up that he started working with you on way back in March of 2023. So he's wrapping up a larger cycle before he moves into Aries permanently in February of 2026. So this is where, again, a full moon is, I would say, oh, it's an ending. Your partner's finances are going to change. That could be also a possibility as well. This might not be about you. Well, I think it will be connected to you, but this might be about your partner's financial situation changing or going through some upheaval or transformation. Again, death and rebirth of their finances and resources, or how they earn a living, so to speak. For those of you not working, 8th house is also, how does money come to you? So does the government support you? Does a spouse support you? Does a child support you? Does, I don't know, disability payments, is that how you earn a living, so to speak? Does that how you pay your bills? That could be up for some transformational change. Now, I'm not saying for bad. This could work in your favor as well, Leo. These eclipses don't see eye to eye with you, that you technically don't see them. The 8th house you can't see, Leo, but you can feel, right? It's psychological. It's the psyche. The 2nd house you can't see either because he's right beside you, right? So think of the wheel on the zodiac wheel, right? You know, your focus is kind of like across the street, your career, your home life. You can't really see who's next to you, right? So the Cancer and the Virgo house is next to you. It's kind of in your blind spots, right? You know they're there, but they're not directly impacting you at times. Not all the time anyway, if that makes sense. So changes on the financial front, Leo, if I could just sum that up in one word, finances. Now, the 2nd house we talked about, this new moon partial solar eclipse in Virgo at 29 degrees. Last month, you had a new moon here at 0 degrees of Virgo. And that was on August the 23rd, Leo. So again, it could be connected or it might not be. Because again, that was just a regular new moon. This one's a different new beginning, which they're also showing me could be an ending for some of us, right? Endings and new beginnings. So work, money, finances, resources, income, your value system. Also, diet could be connected here as well, especially with Virgo being your second house. How you earn a living, your material possessions. It's what belongs to you, Leo, not so much about your partner, right? But they're involved here because, again, these two areas of life are being lit up by these eclipses. So endings and new beginnings, adjustments in these areas of life, my friends. All right. So that is about it, Leo, that I was going to talk about for the month ahead. Enjoy the month of September, and we'll see you back here in October. Bye for now. Hey, Virgo, happy birthday, Virgo, if you are celebrating a birthday this month. And what a birthday season to have, my friends, if you are a Virgo sun. Even if you're a Virgo rising, it's still the same thing. Whenever the sun touches my rising sign, I celebrate that, the same way as I celebrate my Leo sun that comes around every August. So, my friends, let me tell you, you and Pisces, you probably heard me say this before, you're the stars of the show here, right? Get comfortable with being uncomfortable, my friends, or get comfortable with being shoved in the spotlight, or get comfortable with being shoved into big change, big life decisions that need to happen, not only this month, but I'm going to say this is just going to continue into 2027. Now, last month, you had a new moon in your sign at 0 degrees, super, super potent energy. Now this month, we have another new moon in your sign. And this one, though, I suggest you do not try to manifest anything on this day. I usually say, oh my goodness, yes, manifest, manifest, manifest on these new moons, especially your birthday new moon. This one, though, my friends, it could come out sideways. It's at 29 degrees. It's at a crisis degree point. It's at it could be at a tough degree point for some of us. Of course, depending on your birth chart, depending on what you're watching for. But not only that, it's an eclipse. And you're just not seeing something in its true form, right? People, places, things, work projects, relationships, home-related matters, anything, Virgo, because this is in your first house, technically. So, but you do you, my friends, okay? You do you. If you feel called to call something in on the 21st, where we have this new moon, then you do you. I would just say lower your expectations a little bit. Be open to whatever comes in, because you just never know. You just never know where it's going to lead you. So the sun is still in your sign, shining a spotlight on your health and well-being, your vitality, how you're taking care of yourself, Virgo. But what do I always say when you have all this energy packed into your first house? This is about all areas of life, because the first house touches all areas of life, right? So this could be about your home. This could be about your relationships, your marriage, your work, your business, your reputation, your status, the legacy you want to leave behind, retirement, thoughts of retirement, goals of retirement. So anything could happen this month, my friends. Yes, I'll get into the eclipses, but I'm going to say an eclipse in your sign, an eclipse in the first house, anything could happen. It's sort of like all bets are lost. It's that Jesus takes the wheel moment, and you don't know which way you're going to go, right? In a good way, though, my friends. Like, I always spin these as positive as I can to be as realistic as I can. So forgive me, I don't mean to upset anyone. But eclipses are pretty tough to predict. This is where I would need your personal birth chart sitting in front of me and saying, okay, what do you have at 29 degrees? What do you have at 15 degrees? right? That's where these eclipses are taking place. So add in those additional layers. If it's your sun, could be about a career change or a status change or something to do with your health and well-being. If it's your moon, it could be changes on the home front, the family front. If it's your rising, it could be your image, quite literally changes to your physical body, your health and well-being, and or your relationships. So as the sun moves into your second house, and Mercury is closely behind, so Venus, Mercury, Mars are pretty close together. They're starting to tighten up their orbs a little bit here, so that Mercury is back sitting hand in hand with the sun. Venus is moving into your sign this month, which makes you crazy magnetic. So again, go after that job, go after that promotion, go after the money, go after the love that you desire, go after whatever it is that you desire, or at least make an effort. Because when Venus comes into your sign for the next 4 months, and I'll even stretch it for the next 8 weeks, sorry, 4 weeks, not 4 months. 4 weeks she'll be in your sign approximately. 4 weeks she'll be in Libra, which is your second house of money and earnings and income, right? So all of these planets are concentrated in your first and second houses. So it's kind of like full on. It's kind of like brand new, fresh starts here. And it's about you knocking over that domino piece, you know, dominoes, yeah. Is it called dominoes? Yes, dominoes. We used to play that as kids, right? You knock over a piece and it does this cool thing. Da, 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 da. That's what they're showing me, right? You're knocking over the first piece this month. And then where is it going to take you, right? You can't see where they land, right? Because these domino pieces are ginormous. They're like they're the size of your home, your place of living, right? You knock it over and you're like, oh, okay, so I'll go in that direction. That's where I'm feeling called to go, right? So once the sun moves into your second house, this starts involving your work, your career, your relationships, your relationship to money, to finances, to resources, to your savings account. This is also material possessions, buying and selling with Mars here. Maybe you had to sell. Mars here, it's more about selling. Get rid of things that, you know, take it to the Salvation Army, or get rid of things, give it to the neighbors. I don't know, give it to your kids, give stuff away, right? South node in your sign, you got to get lighter here, Virgo. Think lighter, think decluttering. Even if it's one room at a time, if it overwhelms you to think about decluttering, just focus on one piece of your home at a time, or start in the garage, start in one corner of the garage, start in one corner of the attic, start in the closet, right? This is about letting go for you, because the North Node is not in your sign. The North Node is opposing you. So it's asking you to release, 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 and then you will hold space for anything new that you want to come into or bring into your life, attract into your life. And Venus is going to help you get started with that this month. Mars is helping you cut and lighten your load. This could even be weight, you guys. Like if this doesn't resonate with material possessions, Mars could help you, again, lose the weight, right? South node in your sign, getting back into shape, whatever that means for you. You don't have to be a model. You don't have to be a bodybuilder. It's like leaning out in some area of your life. Because again, this is your first house, right? So it could be any area of life. Okay, so the sun's shining a spotlight on you and your second house of money, resources, finances. I'm also hearing the home for you loud and clear, something to do with your home as well, or your place of living, or your vicinity of living, wherever you're living. Second house is also skills, talents, and abilities too, as well. So thoughts of brushing up on something or incorporating something new into your business. I would say lean into that too. Again, follow your intuition, Virgo. Okay. Now let's dive into the eclipses here. Sorry, they're chattering to me, so I can't talk and listen to them at the same time sometimes. I know that sounds weird, but it's true. Okay, let's jump into the eclipses here. So you have a full moon total lunar eclipse, 15 degrees of Pisces opposing you on or around the 7th of the month. So how they're showing me the eclipses this month is it's almost like one ginormous ball of light, one luminary, they're saying this month. There's only one lunation this month. So what that means and what I'm saying to the signs is these two houses are melding together. Wherever the eclipses are, so for you it's your first house and your 7th house. These two houses are coming together this month as one. So there could be endings and new beginnings about anything I'm going to natter off here. Normally I would say, oh, there's a full moon in your 7th house. So this is endings, culmination points in this area of life. Oh, you have a new moon in your 1st house. Okay, manifest, 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 set those intentions for what you want to manifest, right? But again, this month they're showing me it could go either way. So 7th house is about contractual agreements. This could do with marriage. This could be about dissolving a marriage. By the way, if you're happily married, obviously that doesn't apply to you. So don't panic that your marriage is going to end, my friends. That's not what I'm saying. But for those of you that are with me that are like, you know what, I need to get rid of this goddamn relationship, I'm suffocating, then yeah, these eclipses are going to help you with this energy. So this could also be dissolving a job, right? Dissolving a contract, dissolving an agreement you had with a client, letting go of a client, letting go of a difficult client, letting go of people that work for you or with you. So this could be something as simple as a contractor that's working on your house or a person that cuts your lawn. Okay, they need to maybe go by the wayside, that needs to end, and then you're bringing in somebody new. You're bringing in a better practitioner that can help you out, right? I shouldn't even say better because they're showing me like they have to be on the same vibrational match as you, Virgo. That's how they're, so it's not about being better or being that person's bad or no good. It's, you got to find your vibrational match in another person. So this could be work. They're saying people, places, and things. So again, this could bleed into even a new home, a new place of living, right? Because signing on the 7th house is signing on the dotted line, like for a new home, a new rental agreement, a new lease, right? I'm also hearing a new lease on life, for example. So new partnerships, personal, business, love, family, friends, it's anything to do with your one-on-one connections could be up for some change. Now, the new moon partial solar eclipse that's happening at 29 degrees of your sign in your 1st house, this could be anything. Your physical appearance, your identity, the body, your health and well-being, anything to do with your career, retirement. Yeah, for you, I'm hearing money too. How you earn a living, how you make a living, pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone, finding a new place to live, time to move on. I'm hearing time to move on from, you fill in the blank, this person, place, or thing. You have to be feeling this, Virgo. Like, I mean, they're showing me this is such an important month ahead for you in particular, because you've had 2 back-to-back black moons, like the darkness of the sky, I think, right? Like that's what they're showing me, is just you are in the dark. You're sitting in the dark. And some of you are like, I'm not getting traction. Nothing is happening. I don't know what to do. You're frustrated. Just, okay, then let this month pass. But you got to do something about it, though. You can't just sit in the dark and pick your nose, right? Like, I don't think Virgos would do that. But some of you might be doing that. Some of you actually have kids that are doing that. Like they're kind of in this depressive slump. And I get it, kids are kids. Sometimes you don't know any better, right? They don't know any better, depending on the age, right? So I'm not blaming them. But this extends beyond you, Virgo, right? And if you feel stuck and in a rut, this should help you make some progression. You should see a light this month. And if you don't, it's coming, they're saying. It's coming. So don't give up. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep showing them Again, Saturn is coming back into this area of life, testing something once and for all, saying, hey, are you sure you want this, Virgo? Because I'm going to continue to squeeze you a little bit until you prove to me and show me you want this. You want this. You want to make this work, right? So again, Virgo, this could be anything. I would say, like, the world is your oyster, they're saying. Like, they're showing me the planet. You could do anything you want with this energy. But again, not conscious energy to manifest, more so to kind of move through it and flow through it, they're saying. You also might need to be there for other people as well, they're saying. Like, other people may need you, your support and love, and an ear, they're saying. They might call you just to have an ear, they're saying, or listening, right? So again, Virgo, endings and new beginnings on either side of the fence here. Endings and new beginnings with career, endings and new beginnings with your business, endings and new beginnings with contracts, agreements, negotiations, people that work with you, for you. New homes, new commitments on the home front. Some of you, new babies coming in. Yeah, something to do with, it might not be you, but it, like, I don't know, grandbabies or something like that. Or somebody you know, somebody you're close to, right? There's like a pregnancy coming in here. I'm also sort of picking up, even though, you know, your fifth house is not being activated, but I'm definitely hearing like a child coming in, right? They're not here yet, but they're coming. They're saying they're coming. So, anyway, Virgo, I hope that helped. You know, this is such a big cycle for you in Pisces. Utilize it. I know it's tough having the South Node in your sign. I know that's not easy. I've read it in some of the comments below about, oh, endings, and negativity. Yeah, you guys, but you can't have new beginnings if you can't, you got to let shit go, right? And for some of you, this is not physical. It could be mental, right? Because the sun does rule your 12th house of the psyche. So again, something could be just being asked of you to let go. It could be just as simple as a mindset, right? So anyway, my friends, enjoy the month ahead. I'm excited for you. I'm excited for all the mutable signs, because this is the cycle you and Pisces and Sag and Gemini can completely change your world, let alone the outer planets, right? So I'm not even including those, but they're also working in our favor to just change whatever we want to change. It's just not going to happen overnight. So pack your patience. It's coming, my friends. What you're trying to get off the ground is coming. Just give yourself grace and be patient with yourself, because it is coming. They're showing me it's definitely coming your way. So just keep doing what you're doing. You are on the right track. If you feel lost, look inside. Don't look outside for answers. Don't listen to other people for answers. Just look inside, and that's where you're going to find those answers. And I know that sounds cheesy, but that's what they're showing. That's what they're showing me. Anyway, enjoy the month ahead, Virgo. We'll see you back here in October. Bye for now. Hey, Libra, welcome to September, and let's talk about where I think your focus will be for the month ahead. And of course, we're going to be talking about the eclipses as well, and what areas of life they're going to be activating for you. So Libra, if you are celebrating a birthday this month, I want to wish you a fantastic year ahead. And what a birthday month to have if you are celebrating this month. I mean, the eclipses aren't in your sign, but the one there on the 21st is like literally knocking at your door, like literally at 29 degrees of Virgo. So I have a feeling this energy is going to sort of carry into your sign in some small or large way, especially for those of you that have anything at the beginning degrees of Libra. So I'm going to say 0 degrees to 5 degrees. This eclipse, you're definitely hands down going to feel, because of this eclipse energy, which, you know, every astrologer like, it depends on the orb, right? Some astrologers use a wide orb of 10 degrees. I usually use around 5 to 8. But some astrologers don't use an orb at all. And if it's not exact, it's not exact. But from my experience, the eclipses, I would say, use a 10-degree orb. So even if you're a 10-degree Libra, I think you're going to feel this particular new moon on the 21st. But anyway, let's first start with your 12th house, because that's where the sun is still transiting. You have Mercury in there as well, starting on September the 2nd. You do have Venus in Leo, but Venus is going to be moving into your 12th house pretty quick here as well. Well, I shouldn't say pretty quick. I mean, not until the 19th, but I guess it depends on when you're watching this video. Let's break down your 12th house. So this is all about Libra preparing for a brand new cycle. So preparing for, again, your birthday season ahead. You start off a season. You are a cardinal energy. You, Aries, Capricorn, and Cancer have that power. All of these signs pack a punch because you start a season. It's like you're opening the gates for everyone to come through. And you're welcoming a new change, a change of the season, a change of the winds, a change of the times, right? Or a change of the tides even, they're saying as well. So this equinox definitely packs a punch because of that eclipse that's back to back with the sun. The sun is just literally eclipsed out. The sun is blinded, and then he's rolling into your sign with fresh new eyes, with fresh new color that's coming in, right? A new, they're showing me it's almost like a new color wheel that's being introduced to not only you, but all of us for the season, the new season ahead. So 12th house is a focus on endings, but I'll come back to the eclipses because what they're showing me this month is it could be riddled with multiple endings and new beginnings in either house. So I'll definitely come back to that. So Libra, you're preparing for a new cycle. If not, you're already rolling into that ending, and the new beginning is just around the corner. You can taste it, you can feel it, you can sense it, but it's just not quite there yet. It's sort of like it's coming. It's about letting go. It's about reassessing where is your time, your energy, your effort being spent. This could be with a partner, this could be in business, this could be with your family, this could be with your kids. Like, I mean, the scope is wide on this because you are the sign of relationships. How do you relate one-on-one to people, right? So this 12th house energy is asking you to take a step back and reassess this in your life. 12th house is also awakenings. We have multiple awakenings in our lifetime. It's not like one and done type of energy. It's constantly flowing, especially with the eclipses activating your 12th house, Libra, well into 2027. You're going to have multiple awakenings, multiple epiphanies, multiple aha moments over the next several years. So this isn't one and done, this energy. You're constantly going to be evolving this year. And I know you just got rid of the eclipses in your house. I get it. That's probably what you're thinking. Well, I just got rid of this south node in my house. But the 12th node is the psyche. So whether you realize it or not, these eclipses are still working on you. It's just that they're working now behind the scenes on your mind. And some of you, it's like the intuition and the mind's eye as well. So 12th house is also spirituality, anything that's secluded, anything that's from away from public eye. So this could be getting away from it all, getting like going into the bush, dropping the devices, dropping the connection with people, and just having your own space. This is like Buddha temples. This is getting away from it all. This is getting away from the kids. This is getting away from the job and the chaos, and just being with yourself and sitting with yourself, even if it is for only 15 minutes. You can go there in a second, right? Meditation, dreams, sleep cycles, solitude, healing on multiple levels could be layered in here. So mental, physical, spiritual, emotional healing. 12th house is also your hidden gifts, talents, and abilities as well, Libra. So for those of you that want to move into something new, that want to embrace something new. I'm also looking at Saturn backing into your 6th house of work. This could also be a window of time, not just for the month of September, but for the next several months to incorporate something new that's going to change your life and your circumstances. Could be work, could be a place of living, could have something to do with family, could have something to do with extended family members, or again, relationships. This could touch on anything because they're showing me the 12th and the 1st is obviously closely connected, because the 12th is more hidden, where the 1st is you, quite literally you and the physical body. So keep that in mind, everything that I nattered off there, because you have an eclipse here. So an eclipse is going to activate this area of life, if not already, you guys. For some of you, they're showing me you're well on your way. You're like to do with endings. You're well on your way in this area of life, wrapping something up so you can move into something new, into that 6th house area of life. And then, of course, once the Sun and Mercury fall into Libra, this is going to change your energy. This is going to shift the energy. It's kind of like you're coming out of that hibernation. You're kind of like, here I am. I'm ready to take on something new. Like I said, those gates that are opening, you're seeing life from a new perspective. It's almost like somebody, again, put a new pair of glasses. You're just seeing things in a new light, in a new perspective. So that is coming for you in the month ahead. If not this month, definitely next month they're showing me, because again, the eclipses can impact how we see things sometimes. And I'll come back to that in a second here. Mars in your 1st house since the beginning of August. This has probably made you pretty spicy, I'm going to say. This has given you the motivation, the passion, the action, the drive to go after what it is that you want. However, this is also a big people-pleasing transit, Libra, if I may just bring that up, because this can make you really indecisive. You get really frustrated when your needs are not met. You get sort of frustrated at, okay, I got to consider this person and this kid and that person and that, blah, 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 blah. Like my partner, what is my partner going to think? What is my child going to think? What is my parents going to think? What is my coworkers going to think? What is my boss going to think? What is my clients going to think? Like all that's running through your head as it is, because you are a Libra, whether you're sun, moon, or rising. The Mercury coming in here, I'm hoping will help you sort of clear the clutter in the mind, clear the closet, right? And Mars, I think you're going to be grateful for Mars to get out of your sign and move into your 2nd house. But I'm hoping Mars here, like I said, gave you the motivation. It lit a fire under your butt to do something about your circumstances. Mars in here has also probably made you quite sharp, even if it was your communication style or how you came off. Could have been quite different than a normal Libra would come across as, right? Because Mars can make you a little bit aggressive or passive aggressive, depending on, again, free will here. It depends on how you utilize this energy. So Mars is still in your 1st house. Mars will come out of your 1st house and into your 2nd house on, the 22nd, kind of the same day as the equinox there. So Mars in the 2nd house, cut and sever, getting rid of material possessions, buying and selling, more so selling, because Mars cuts, like cuts and sever. Mars in the 2nd house will make you focus in on work, or what do you want to do for work? And if you don't work, how are you making a difference in your community? What do you want to pour your energy and effort towards? Mars in the 2nd house can also make you spend a lot of money. So I'm just going to throw it out there as well. Especially spend money on your partner or business partners or colleagues or family or friends. So again, just, I'm not here to preach, but just be aware of that type of energy. Now, Venus, though, Venus, yes, is coming into your 12th house, but right now she's in your 11th house of friendships. So if you, Libra, are looking for love, open to meeting somebody new, you could find somebody online, you could find somebody through friendship circles, through community, through your local environment, through friendships, groups, memberships, associations, personal or professional, by the way. Venus in the 11th house also brings in gains from the career, Libra. So I do like that energy for you as well. Also, older siblings, if you have an older sibling, there could be benefits coming to them, for them, or benefits from an older sibling to you in some way, shape, or form. Social media looks really good too with Venus through the 11th house, Libra. So put yourself out there. If you do work in social media land here, it usually makes you attractive. And again, you can gain money from that space, from that vicinity. You can also gain money and earnings from networking, whether that's virtual or literal, rubbing shoulders with like-minded people, or the right kind of people, or your type of people, whatever you want to call it. Again, groups, affiliations, associations, humanitarian efforts, money coming towards you. So possible potential clients coming your way as well. Okay, I want to jump to the eclipses now. So as I mentioned, what they're showing me this month is endings and new beginnings in the 6th house and 12th house. So let's start with the full moon, because we already talked about your 12th house. That's where you have the new moon partial solar eclipse in Virgo at 29 degrees. Remember, the one that's knocking on your door. Now let's move to the 6th house. This is where you have a full moon total lunar eclipse, 15 degrees on the 7th of September, give or take a day or two. So normally I would say, okay, you got an ending, a culmination point, a finale coming in your 6th house here, Libra. But again, think endings and new beginnings, because this is where the North Node is. So if there is an ending, there should be a new beginning also happening this month. Could be back to back. It could be several weeks apart, or it could be several months apart, right? Eclipses are on their own timeline. So 6th house, day-to-day duty, work, responsibilities, how you're being of service, Libra. So if you're not working, how are you being of service? And I encourage you to lean into doing something new, because for some of you, you're going to meet the right, like-minded individuals. You're going to meet the right partner. It's going to light you up from the inside out. So I really encourage you, if you're not working and you're still able to contribute in some small way, yeah, please donate your time, I would say, volunteer. And even if you can't, think about a monetary donation, like 50 cents or something like that. Like, it doesn't have to be, I'm not asking you to break the bank here, but they're really asking you to lean into humanitarian efforts and how you can be of service and how you can give from the heart, Libra. So I guess that message is for people who are working and who are not working, right? It could go, I'm not saying if you're working, that's it, your whole life is work. Definitely lean into being of service in some way, shape, or form, Libra. So 6th house is also your health and well-being. So how you're taking care of your vessel, your physical body. This is your diet. This is nutrition. This is pets and animals. So maybe some of you are welcoming in a new furry pet, or maybe some of you are getting a farm. It could be one end of the spectrum or another. But multiple pets could be coming your way, or multiple animals could be coming your way. Maybe some of you will be volunteering for a shelter, an animal shelter, or something to do with animals, working with animals. This is your habits, Libra. Good habits, bad habits, whatever you want to call them. They're all housed in the 6th house. 12th house is like the dirty habits that, people don't see, like your binge eating, binge watching television, drinking too much, smoking too much, whatever the case may be behind closed doors, is that 12th house, sort of like hidden, what you do behind closed doors. So again, either or energy could be coming up in the month ahead. 6th house is also, the workplace. If you go into a workplace, this is your coworkers, this is your colleagues, this is the atmosphere and the environment. Changes could be on the horizon here. Again, you could be changing your work, Libra. Jupiter up in your 10th house, definitely a possibility over the next year. But an eclipse in your 6th house, again, think eclipse out a job, eclipse in a new job or a new career opportunity. could be coming in here as well. Because yeah, this full moon actually is making a trine to Jupiter in your 10th house. So there you go. Some of you, this could be a work opportunity. Whether you own a business, run a business, or work for an employer, this could be clients coming your way. This is also contractors, like people that work with you, for you, work on your house, work on your business, employees that work with you or for you. Definitely some change coming in here as well. So that is the 6th house, my friends, where you have one lunation this month. And again, this is the North Node, so welcome in something new. We talked about your 12th house already, so I don't want to drive you nuts by repeating myself, but on the 21st of the month, this is where technically you have a new beginning. But again, they said loud and clear, it's endings and new beginnings this month, and it could impact either area of life. Now for you, the 6th house touches multiple areas of life, right? Health, well-being, work, being of service, busy day-to-day duty, responsibility, routines. That is all up for some change. And then we talked about the 12th house of the subconscious mind, preparing for a new cycle, letting things go once and for all, whether it's a mindset, something subconscious, healing, getting better, getting well, so you can be there for your kids, so you can be there, so you can show up for other people in a new way. And I'm not saying you're crappy right now, Libra, but that's what they're showing me. Like there's a shiny new you that's coming forward. Some of you have already taken that step and some of you aren't there yet, but you're getting there. We're all on our own different timelines. So don't compare yourself to social media. Don't compare yourself to your neighbors or other people. Because by the way, half of that is bullshit. Like people aren't going to show you pictures of arguing and fighting and whatever, breaking up and signing the divorce papers. Are people going to post about that? No, right? They're just going to show you the shiny icing on the cake. That's it. They're not going to show you when the cake is destroyed. They show you like, you know, it's like putting makeup on your face. It's no difference, right? With all the filters these days, pretty soon we're not even going to know what people look like, right? So again, don't compare. I know it's tough. Put the blinders on, Libra, and just keep doing what you're doing. Keep moving forward because you're on the right path, my friends. These eclipses are nudging you in the right direction. Just give yourself time and space and grace to move through these changes because it's going to take a while for your physical body to adjust to these changes as well. So Libra, enjoy the month ahead and we'll talk to you in October. Bye for now. Hey Scorpio, welcome to September and let's break down the month ahead for you and what areas of life are in the spotlight and are up for some change, some possible big change in the month of September. But keep in mind, eclipse energy always ripples out after the fact. Or I have a feeling some of you might have already experienced this change in August, or it's already rolling down the pipe in August. And then September is when the change actually is initiated or happens, right? Or the dust settles, maybe not. Anyway, let's dive into the Scorpio. So the sun is continues to move through your 11th house this month. So this is where you're also having an eclipse, my friends. So I'm going to ramble off some examples, keep them in the back of your skull, because this is, again, where you could have endings and new beginnings. So the 11th house is older siblings, if you do have older siblings. So this could be the spotlight on them, or again, change coming into their lives, and then you are supporting them for the month ahead. 11th house is friendship circles, groups, affiliations, associations, personally or professionally that you hang out with. The 11th house is also about your role in these groups and communities and associations that you belong to. 11th house is networking too. So maybe Scorpio, your role needs to change in some way, shape, or form. So I have a feeling that will be up for some change, because especially if you're the one doing everything, I think it's time to start sharing the workload with somebody else. I think that would be your best thing to maybe consider at least, or lean into. 11th house is also what lights you up, what lifts you up, and what supports you. So again, if there's something here that's not working, if there's a friend or a colleague or a networking buddy or a work buddy, or I don't know, whatever, whoever. I'm thinking also of like work associations or affiliations, professional associations. If there's someone that is just gets under your skin, is negative, always cuts you down, always just irritates you on a soul level, Scorpio, it's time to distance yourself from that person. I'll leave it up to you if you want to cut and sever. I'm looking at Mars, who's getting ready to come into your sign. But you might need to distance yourself from that person, or again, cut them out of your life. I normally wouldn't say that, but I mean, you are Scorpio, you are ruled by Mars, you are black and white. It's kind of like you are all or nothing, my friends. Where the rest of the signs, it would be more so just distance yourself. It doesn't mean you can't distance yourself, because I'm thinking if this is a really close personal friend that you've had for many, 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 many years, maybe you don't want to cut them out, but you got to create space between you and them, because guess what? It's impacting your energy. And the eclipses here are asking you, pressuring you, giving you an opportunity, giving you a window to distance yourself from that group of people or that association or that affiliation, or again, your role with these people, even humanitarian efforts to take a step back, right? And as soon as you do that, you're going to be welcoming in something new in your 5th house. Or it could be this 11th house as well. So new people, places, things coming in that is more aligned with your vibration, Scorpio. So that's what you're going through this entire eclipse season. It's just that this is a particular month where you're going to be nudged possibly in a new direction, or nudged to a new friendship circle or a new group of people that feels like home, so to speak. 11th house is also your hopes, your wishes, your dreams, your long-term commitments and goals. It's also the house of gains as well. The house of, the 10th house is the career. The 11th house is, the money coming in, the money lining your pockets. So that's where the sun is right now. Now, once the sun moves into the 12th house, Scorpio, this is kind of like putting a focus on your sleep cycle, the psyche, what is hidden, what is happening behind closed doors, what is happening that nobody knows about. What do you need to shine a spotlight on? What do you need to come out and talk about? Who do you need to be honest with? This could be about physical healing. This could be about, taking a step back, taking a break from work, taking a break from the kids, taking a break from the family, and just getting ready for when the sun hops into your sign, Scorpio, next month. So not a bad month if you can take a step back. Mars rolling around in here, I have no doubt your sleep patterns have probably been interrupted. Your mind has probably been on overdrive. It's probably tough to find a good night's sleep. Maybe you're feeling restless. Maybe you're just feeling like, when is this going to end? It's coming, Scorpio. It's coming. Like, you're almost there. I would say give it a couple more months. They're showing me November. So for those of you, I don't know, that are waiting on something or someone, they're showing me November timeframe, even December timeframe for now anyway. And they're reminding me that time is fluid, my friends. So if you're waiting on something, just keep doing what you're doing, moving through the motions, and you'll get there. Sun in the 12th house also puts focus on where is your time, your effort, your energy being spent. Similar messages like the 11th house. Again, maybe it's time to readjust that. Maybe it's time to relook at that or reassess that. I mean, if you're waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning anyway, get it out of your head and on paper or your device. Just make sure the blue light is turned off. They're showing me a blue light. So yeah, make sure that's turned off. Get it out of your brain onto something or whatever the case may be, and then you'll be able to sleep sounder, they're saying. consciously or unconsciously. They're saying this could go either way. So anyway, that's where I think some of your focus is going to be this month. Scorpio, some of you, again, the 12th house is quite quiet and hidden. Some of you will feel this, some of you won't. But when Mars is in the 12th house, yeah, you definitely feel that. Even if it's just as simple as not a good night's sleep. 12th house is also working on your skills, your talents, your abilities. Like you're working on something in the background to bring to light later on, right? Okay, Venus in your 10th house right now, and she will be moving into that 11th house as well. So Venus in Leo for you, my friends, is excellent for going after a raise, going after a promotion, asking for more money, raising your prices if you have a business or run a business or own a business. It makes you look attractive, Scorpio. So interview, brush up the resume, get it out there, push it out there. You have about 4 weeks of this energy, and then she moves into Virgo on the 19th, which again shifts the attention, more attention to that 11th house, which is packed. But yeah, she should be beneficial in this area of life, or at least push you or challenge you to, again, find a new job or put yourself out there or approach your boss or your manager or whoever for a raise. Ask for a raise. Ask about professional development. Ask how you can climb the ladder. I don't know, whatever the case may be, but as long as it's to do with your career, go after it. Now, if you're not working, again, I would say use this energy as purpose. Like humanitarian efforts, focus on your local environment, how you can contribute to your local community or internationally. Could be either or, because I see you got Jupiter in your 9th house too. So it could be about that. Something to do with parents, something to do with, we talked about siblings, and something to do with your kids maybe. Yeah. And something to do with you as a parent. You're actually looking attractive as a parent to your kids. You could spend a lot of money on your kids too. I'm thinking with this transit. So again, you do you, Scorpio. But yeah, Venus in Leo makes us want to go big or go home. So just keep that in mind. Also, upgrading your skill set. You might be spending some money on that as well. Or you might be paying someone to brush up your resume. That could be a possibility as well. Or making you look good on like LinkedIn or whatever, right? Like the social media sites for work and attracting in clients towards you. Also, I don't think I mentioned it, Scorpio. You could find love at work with somebody you work with, or somebody in your friendship circle or your networking group, or an older sibling might hook you up with someone. But yeah, love could definitely be coming in and finding its way to you if you're open to it. If you're in a relationship, obviously that doesn't apply. But yeah, Venus moving through the 10th and 11th, you could definitely find love in those areas or those spaces of work and friends. If you are in a relationship, I would say, spice it up. Yeah, spice it up. Incorporate some, red roses and red candles and spicy food and like spicy desserts and chocolate and like luxury type of thing, Scorpio, I would say, if you want to spice up the relationship there, or just get away from it all. Okay, I want to jump to these eclipses now. So these eclipse energies is happening in water and earth signs, Scorpio. So actually, technically, they're bringing forward more harmonious or graceful opportunities versus the squares, I'm thinking, right? But it doesn't mean it's going to be a cakewalk, my friends. So I know I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth, but I also want to be realistic here, because eclipses can change your life on it like within 24 hours. Like it's rapid change coming in these two areas of life. So we talked about the 11th house. That's where you have one. That one's happening on the 21st of this month, 29 degrees of Virgo. If you have anything at the final degrees of Scorpio, this is again going to add in another layer. So if it's your rising sign, it could have something to do with a relationship, a commitment that you have with another person, a work endeavor, a client, you personally, you professionally, you as a human. This is impacting you on some level, very, very, very personally, very, very intimately. Could even have something to do with your physical body being changed. Health, diet, routines, things like that. If it's your sun, it could be your career. If it's your moon, it could have something to do with home, family, foundation, or mother, father, authority figures. There could be changes coming in for them as well. So there's always layers to these eclipses. Because again, it's like, what do you have at 29 degrees of any of the signs, right? That's where it's going to get layered in here. So technically I would say, okay, you got a new beginning in your 11th house and you got an ending and culmination point in your 5th house. However, they're showing me this month, the two lunations are molded together. It's not about a new beginning and an ending and that's it. It's about multiple endings, multiple new beginnings. And they're showing me it could happen in both houses at the same time. So that's what makes this month a little bit different, a little bit more rare than, say, some of the other months with eclipses. This one is definitely different, and I'm feeling it's going to be different, obviously, for each and every one of us. But let's dive into that 5th house. So September the 7th, you have a full moon here at 15 degrees. Again, what do you have at 15 degrees of Scorpio or Taurus, right? This is going to add in those additional layers. So 5th house is all about children, grandchildren, pregnancies. This one I can definitely see surprise pregnancies. Hands down, my friends, like hands down. North node, full moon, eclipse, Saturn coming back in here. Yeah, this is pregnancy. This has pregnancy written all over it. And if you're saying to yourself, well, I'm too old or blah, blah, blah. Again, this is surprise pregnancies out of the blue for you or a partner. Or again, think of your kids or your grandkids, right? New grandbabies are coming in. I can already hear it. I can already hear them. There's tons of them out there lined up to come to this experience. So again, it might not be you, depending on your age. It might not be you. It might be a loved one. It might be your kids. It might be a relative or whatever. But there's definitely new souls coming onto the planet here that you're going to be interacting with. New beginnings with your kids. New beginnings with the grandkids. Like their lives being changed in some way, shape, or form. This is love coming in. New love coming in. This is love affairs. This is romance. This is dating. Actually, yeah, some of you could be dating in secret or having sex in secret. I can also see that as well. This is creative projects, creative endeavors, hobbies, gambling. Just please don't gamble the farm, my friends. And no, this is not a lottery aspect. I want to be careful whenever I say gambling or wins. An eclipse, I don't know, my friends. I guess you got to feel it in your gut. I guess if you're feeling lucky, have at her. But I mean, Saturn in the 5th house doesn't usually scream to me lottery wins. It means, no, you got to work your ass off for a lottery win, which you're going to bring in yourself. You know what I mean? You're going to work for it. I know, I'm such a Debbie Downer, but I mean, that's Saturn energy, right? But this is the house of luck. All jokes aside, the 11th house, the 5th house is very lucky. Yeah, for those of you that want to start a family, even if you need help starting a family, my goodness, yeah, try it this month, my friends. Magic is in the air with these eclipses. You just never know. And again, if you're feeling lucky, then go with your intuition, right? Just please don't bet the farm, my friends. Just please, please, please. Okay, so this is where you're welcoming in something new, but you have a full moon. So full moons are endings. Full moons are, okay, time for the next chapter, right? So endings and new beginnings in the 5th house, endings and new beginnings in the 11th house. That's why I'm saying, I hope I'm not confusing you, but I'm melding them together because these lunations could go either way. So I'm excited for the month ahead, you guys. I love working with eclipses because it fascinates me that it can change your life on a dime. Like your whole life can change within 24 hours. You know, you could make that decision to pull out of town, move abroad. You could sign on the dotted line with a new mortgage, a brand new mortgage, your first new home. That changes your life. That changes your experience. A brand new love coming in, and it could be a whirlwind, right? You don't know where this person came from. You don't know how or what attracted you to them or vice versa. Yeah, when we're dealing with the nodes, this is very karmic, right? So anybody that comes in around this time, new people, places, things, it can be very karmic as well. Very meant to be type of energy. So Scorpio, enjoy the month ahead, and we will talk to you in October. Bye for now. Hey Sagittarius, let's break down the month ahead for you and where I think your focus is going to be for the month ahead. So Sag, I'm sure you heard me say this over and over and over again. You, Gemini, Virgo, and Pisces are all up for big life changes over the next several years. And it started late 2024. We're kind of in the middle of it. And this is, believe it or not, going to carry us all the way until early 2027. Yeah. Anyway, this is just a month ahead, my friends, that, you know, fate, destiny, fortune, karma, the finger of God, everything is coming down this month and nudging you possibly onto a new path or bringing in new people, places, things onto your path for a reason. So I'm excited for you, Sag. I encourage you to get excited as well. Please don't be scared. Please, there's no fear around this, you guys. Think about it. We have eclipses every 6 months. Depending on how old you are, do the math, right? You've lived through this before. Even think back to the last eclipse cycle, which I believe was 2006, 2007. Similar themes could be rolling in, but they're going to be different. They're usually never, ever, ever the same, but the flavor is there. You know what I mean? Anyway, Sag, let's dive in here. So I'm going to talk about the sun first. Wherever the sun goes, he infuses light, heat, energy. So he is continuing to move through that 10th house of yours. So 10th house, all about career, reputation, status. It's at the top of your sky. So it's very public. It's very out there in the open. It's about Sag. You got to be on, right? You got to be on, turned on for your audience, right? Status. I'm going to say it now, Sag, your status might change. And what do I mean by status? It depends on what wraps up into your status. What do you consider to be status? So for example, is your status, oh, I'm married to so-and-so. I'm a stay-at-home parent. I own a business, run a business. I'm a consultant. I'm an astrologer. I'm a grandma, a grandpa. I'm a global traveler. I don't belong to anyone. I'm single. I'm married. So that's what I mean by status. So that, my friends, is going to change for you. If it hasn't yet already changed, something here at the end of the day needs to be released in this area of life. It could be big, it could be small. It could be as simple as a career change. Again, a big career change, a small career change, moving from one job to another, maybe in the same organization. Or if you own a business, run a business, changing up your business in some way, shape, or form. 10th house is also your long-term commitments and goals. It's the legacy that you want to leave behind for your kids, your family, your grandchildren, or maybe you're going to donate everything to whatever. Salvation Army, Goodwill, the Red Cross, I don't know, right? It's about the legacy, or what do you want to be known for, right? Now, as when you're living, but even when you've passed on, right? Think of all the great people that have, you know, passed on, but their legacy still lives on. They're showing me, for example, Michael Jackson, which is amazing. You know, huge artist, right? In the 80s. Yes, I'm one of them. I'm an 80s baby here. But they're showing me that type of big legacy that you want to leave behind that will stand the test of time for even centuries, right? 10th house is also parenthood. So you as a parent, if you are a parent, or something to do with your parents could be in focus here. Your parents, by the way, I think are up for some big change if they're still with us. What else here? Grandparents too. Could also be grandmother, grandfather, I'm also hearing as well. But even you as a parent, there could be some changes with your parenting style or what parenting means to you, or maybe some of you are becoming a parent or recently became a parent, I'd say within the past couple years, right? That's all. Parenthood always evolves and changes, right? If you're a parent, you probably are like, yeah, Stacey, I already know that. Okay, so that's the 10th house. Now, once the sun moves into Libra, and this is where Mars is and Mercury will be joining this area of life as well. The planets, the personal planets are starting to narrow in together here. Like Venus, Mars, Mercury, the sun are starting to get closer and closer together here. So 11th house is all about friendship circle, Sag. People that you hang out with, affiliations, associations, personal, professional, networking, social media, how you use social media, your hopes, your wishes, your dreams, your gains. So 10th house into the 11th house, this is gains, how you earn a living, how money comes into your lap, so to speak, lining your pockets. Also ties into, similar to the 10th house, long-term commitments and goals as well. Older siblings, if you do have older siblings. So that's where the sun will be starting to transit this month as well. And yes, they're saying equinox. Yes, I know the equinox begins. I'm going to get to the eclipses here in a second. So Venus moving, I want to jump to Venus now. Sorry if I'm all over the map here, Sag. This is a very different month ahead. I have to be honest that the energy feels different, not in a bad way, by the way. What they're showing me this month is like a ginormous one lunation this month. They're showing me there's only one lunation this month. So I'll talk about the two eclipses, but the energy definitely feels different. But again, I want to repeat, not in a bad way, my friends. It just means that I think we're up for a lot of big change that we can't even anticipate or predict or figure out. But anyway, let's keep talking about the houses that are being activated here. So Venus moving through Leo, I actually really like this for you because it's making trines into your planets, placements, points. So the 9th house is about religion, philosophy, spirituality, your belief systems, your ethics, higher learning, higher education, teaching, mentoring, coaching, publishing, writing, gains coming into this area of life. Long distance trips and traveling, connecting with people from all over the globe. This is paperwork as well, like citizenship, visas, green cards, whatever you want to call it. That should be good this month, by the way, Sag, if you're looking for that. Really good energy coming in if you're doing legal battles or legal situations. Venus here should help you over the next 4 weeks. So the last week of August until September 19th, and then she moves into Virgo. So definitely take advantage of this energy and try to resolve. If you can, try to get some resolution on the table, resolve, meet with the person, because Venus here is trying to help you with your situation, right? And unfortunately, she does not stay here forever. So if you can, take advantage of this energy, and maybe you can get your case moving along in a more harmonious way, right? She's still going to be helping you when she moves into the 10th house, definitely, because that's amazing for career. That's amazing for going after money and jobs and interviewing. It's going to make you look very attractive. And I'm also hearing it's going to make you look very powerful as well, because you're also going to have Jupiter in a financial house as well. So this is expanding your income and your partner's income, expanding as well, Sag. So take advantage of Venus moving through the top of your sky. I really like this energy. For those of you that are single, you could definitely have love abroad, right? This could be flings, this could be one night stands abroad, or just meeting the love of your life in another country. They're definitely going to be international, or they're going to have like some sort of international feel. So they're not from your local area, basically, right? You might meet them locally, you could, but they're not going to belong to the country, the state, the province, whatever, wherever you are, right? They're going to be different, and they're going to be spicy too. Definitely bringing in the spice here. Okay, so Sag, that's where I think your focus is going to be, where all this energy is in your 9th, 10th, 11th house. Also, if I didn't talk about it last month, Mars in your 11th house, you might need to cut and sever a relationship with a friend. I know that's harsh, but that's what Mars does, right? Every 2 years, Mars comes back around into this area of life. So it's not every day we have Mars here. If somebody is bringing you down, if somebody is a Debbie Downer, if somebody is toxic, if somebody is dark, if somebody is like dark meaning not in your best interests or doing some voodoo crap on you, get rid of them, please. Do me a favor, Sag. Come on. I shouldn't have to tell Sag that, right? Mind you, you're ruled by Jupiter, so maybe I do need to tell you that. Anyway, jokes aside, Sag, you know what I mean, right? Distance yourself from people like that. If you are not surrounded by people that do not lift you up, get rid of their asses, okay? Cut them out. Don't literally cut them, but you know what I mean? Cut them out of your life. Or just distance yourself. Just be like, I'm busy. You know, I'm busy. Well, they'll get the hint at some point, right, Sag? I know, aren't I nice? Wouldn't you want to be my friend? Yeah, this can also create some tension within groups, affiliations, like people you hang out with. It is coming to an end. Mars is going to be coming into Scorpio. But again, there's a reason for this, right? To bring to your attention these individuals and once and for all, again, do something about it, Sag. And don't let anyone bring you down because it's just not worth it. You know, it's just not worth it and you don't deserve that. So, and as soon as you do that, new people will be coming in, okay? So once you get rid of those people that are wasting your time and taking up your energy, yeah, get rid of them. I know, aren't I so nice, Sag? I know. Yeah, sorry for my bluntness. Okay, let's talk about these eclipses because, yeah, big angles are being activated here, Sag. So, as I mentioned, they're showing me endings and new beginnings are possible in both of these areas of life. So your 4th house, 10th house. But if these are your true 10th house and 4th house, I'm thinking of the cusps. If your cusps, your midheaven and your IC truly fall in these areas of life, that means it's also going to activate your rising or your sun or whatever you're watching for now. It's going to activate all your big angles of life, right? So this is you. This is your identity. This is your personality. This is the glasses we wear, the lenses we wear, how we project ourselves onto the world. Like here I am. The 4th house is home, family, foundation. 7th house is all about one-to-one relationships, love, business, marriage, contractual agreements, marriage, relationships of all kinds, like all walks of life, you guys. It's not just about love. It's about business. It's about one-to-one relationships with family, friends, loved ones. And 10th house. As we mentioned, I don't want to repeat myself and drive you nuts, but we talked about the 10th house and what that could mean. So keep in mind, South Node is at the top of your sky. So something needs to be released here in order to welcome in something new at that 4th house, or in this area of life, I should say. So we have one eclipse on the 7th and one on the 21st. If you can, Sagittarius, please avoid these days for signing on the dotted line, signing your life away. Anything big and important, please try to avoid these days. Now, if you can't, don't even worry about it, okay? Don't worry about it. Life needs to move on. If you have an important appointment on this day, don't move it just because of that. Unless if you can, you can. But I'm thinking like doctor's appointments or surgery appointments. Sometimes you can't, you got to just take what we can get, right? And again, that tells me this is meant to be. So if something is going to happen on these days, that's meant to be, right? Just keep in mind you're not seeing something clearly, or you might not be seeing something clearly. You're not ruled by the sun, you're not ruled by the moon. You know, Leo and Cancer, if you have any planets in Leo and Cancer, it might change the conversation I would have with you, right? Because Leo and Cancer are ruled by the sun and the moon. You're ruled by Jupiter. So your ruler actually is involved with the full moon on the 7th, bringing in that harmonious energy from your 8th house of money. So again, money coming to you, blessings coming to you. So I do like that type of energy coming in. But again, just be mindful around these days, Sag, if you can. So the 4th house, forgive me, I am bouncing around here, but again, you guys, they're showing me manifestation can happen in either house, okay? Your 1st house, your 7th house, 10th or 4th. So I'm just spitting out examples and possibilities here. So the 4th house is all about home, family, foundation, roots, the past, property, retirement, parents, parenthood. What does that mean to you to be a parent? Some of you are becoming a parent or were already, you know, a new parent maybe a couple years ago. Well, yeah, with the North Node in Aries, that's a pregnancy signature for sure. But this signature is also an expansion of the family as well. Changes in the home, renovating, moving, buying, selling property, working from home, not working from home. Maybe it's time to go back into the office or what. There's clearly big changes here on the career front, Sag, and on the home front is what I'm getting at. So I do have all the dates on this slide here. But I have a feeling it's not about the dates. It's not about getting down to the nitty gritty. It's about the bigger picture here, which I think you can appreciate. Sagittarians is all about the bigger picture. I'm not talking to Geminis here. Geminis want the dirty details. Sagittarius is like, no, don't give me the damn details. Just give me the bigger picture. Tell me what I need to do. Tell me what I can see on the horizon coming. So, like I said, changes in your career. This could also be about retirement or moving into retirement or thoughts or planning of retirement. Saturn moving back into your 4th house. This is a test, my friends. March of 2023 to May of 2025, Saturn was here building something in this 4th house foundation for you. Now he's coming back around, nudging you, elbowing you. Okay, let's see how firm your foundation is, Sag. Before I move into your 5th house, I want to make sure you're solid and you're standing with 2 feet on the ground and you're grounded. Your head can be up in the clouds, but as long as you got 2 feet, 2 hoofs on the ground, you're going to be solid, right? So Saturn here, this full moon here, the North Node here, I do like this for each and every one of us. Yes, it could get tough. Yes, it could get shaky, but just know that Saturn testing you as well this month, right? We might feel it more this month than other months, not only because of the eclipses, but because Saturn's at 29 degrees. You know, this new moon, this eclipse up in your 10th house, it is opposing Neptune and Saturn too. So a lot of the planets are involved this month. Uranus is, Pluto is, Saturn is, Neptune is, and Jupiter is. And then the personal planets too, activating. We talked about your 9th house, 10th house, 11th house. So Sag, big month ahead for you, my friends. Please don't be scared though. Like I said, I love working with eclipses because it's just so fascinating how quickly life can speed up. And if you have had roadblock after roadblock, I think you'll be surprised how fast life can accelerate in 4 to 8 weeks around these eclipses, right? And some of you might have already experienced this in August, and some of you might continue to experience this well into like October, November, December even, right? Until the next set of eclipses. All right, Sag, enjoy the month ahead, and we'll see you back here in October. Bye for now. Hey Capricorn, welcome to September, and let's break down the month ahead for you. So let's first talk about the multiple areas of life that are sort of going to be either up for some rapid change this month, Capricorn, or kind of in your line of sight, like somehow, some way it's going to come into focus. So Capricorn, my eye immediately went to Mars in your 10th house. So that means Maybe some of you have been having a rough time on the career front, challenges on the career front, or maybe some of you ended a job or got rid of a client, or maybe you noticed your boss is a little bit more sticky or fickle or annoying, or whatever the case may be, Capricorn. Mars in the 10th house does mean it's challenging your planet's placements points, Capricorn. So I can appreciate that. I can feel that as well. I'm a Capricorn rising and a Capricorn moon. So I know I definitely have been feeling strange things and weird things coming out of the career sector. But just know, thank God, Mars is moving on into Scorpio on the 22nd of the month, which correlates with the equinox. And I feel like this energy will be a lot better when Mars moves off of your midheaven or out of your 10th house from a whole sign perspective and moves into Scorpio, where he can better express himself. Like through Libra, he can't really express himself. It kind of comes out sideways. So anyway, but at the end of the day, Mars makes us passionate about our career, passionate about being a parent, passionate about helping other people or helping our parents. But again, on the other side of that sword, because Mars is a double-edged sword, is annoyance, is anger, is frustration, right? So Mars is always like that wherever he goes. There's a good side of Mars, meaning put him to work. Always put Mars to work. Mars is not good when he's sitting there idling, because then he gets into trouble, right? Think of it that way. So anyway, I'm not saying Mars is a bad planet. He is a malefic after all, but without Mars, we would have no motivation, passion, action, and drive to go after what it is that we want, Capricorn. There might have been even some quarrels and some fights with not only family, but friendship circles as well. You know, friends, people that we hang out with, older siblings, things like that, our kids, family, mother, father, authority figures, like I said. So anyway, this too shall pass. Mars should, moving out of Libra, be a little bit better for the Capricorns moving into the 11th house. Okay, let me go back to the sun. I jumped around there. The sun is continuing to move through your 9th house, Capricorn. So what is the 9th house? It's all about spirituality, religion, or whatever your belief systems are. It's the legal system, it's the justice system, it's foreign lands, foreign shores, foreign cultures, citizenship, passports, immigration, green cards, things like that, higher education, teaching, traveling, mentorship, publishing, writing, coaching, anything to do with at a distance. So this could be long distance traveling, long distance trips, whether it's for business or for pleasure, Capricorn. This is dealing with people from all walks of life, all over the globe. And the 9th house is the house of the gods. This is the closest you're going to get to the gods, my friends. So guess what that means? Reach for the stars. You know, meet them halfway. You take one step toward your hopes, your wishes, your dreams. Again, going back to school, learning something new, finding a publisher, putting yourself out there. You put yourself outside of your comfort zone, Capricorn, the gods are going to take 10 steps towards you. But with that said, I'm going to drive you nuts here, Capricorn. The South Node is here. I'm going to come back to this. Because yes, the sun is energizing this area of life. And yes, you have an eclipse in this area of life. So keep that in mind, all the stuff I rattled off there. There's big change coming into this area of life for you, Capricorn. So what they're showing me this month is one giant lunation. I'm going to be honest, this is definitely a month ahead that feels really different, not in a bad way. But they're showing me that it's as if we only have one lunation this month. So I take that as the 9th house and the 3rd house, where these eclipses are lying for you, Capricorn. There could be endings and new beginnings in either house. And it's not restricted to these houses, they're saying. It could probably touch multiple areas of life with these eclipses. So for example, you know, Mars in Libra, because for some reason they're showing me, the personal planets are also playing a role with these eclipses, even though they're not active with these eclipses, but wherever they are in the sky, it's like a snapshot, right? Everything has a birth chart. Everything has a birth chart, right? When you start a business, when you buy a new home, when you buy a car, when you start a new job, when you get a new client, everything has a birth chart, they're saying. So Venus, Mercury, and Mars is also playing a role here, lighting up your 8th house of money, 8th house of your partner's income, your 9th house, and your 10th house. So forgive me, I am going to jump around here a little bit because they are showing me these lunations are one. I have the dates on the screen here, so September the 7th, September the 21st, but it's not really so much about the days, it's about the month as a whole, they're saying, and how this is going to unfold. Some of you, it's already happening, and some of you, it's going to continue to happen. Change is going to continue to ripple and flow in October, November, December. Actually, Capricorn, they're already showing me October will also be important and very potent for you as well. Okay, quickly, I want to go over Venus in Leo because I did not cover that off last month. So Venus in Leo, she's here for about 4 weeks, starting on August the 25th, I believe, on or around, August 25th. Until the 19th of the month, and then she's going to join the party in that 9th house that we already talked about. So wherever Venus goes, she attracts in love, money, beauty. While Venus is here, this is your partnership sector as well. Not 7th house partnership, financial partnership connections here. So this could be shared property, assets, the person you sleep next to in bed. This could also be business partnerships. This could be gifts and blessings and benefits coming into your partner's hands, your partner's income getting a boost in some way, shape, or form, which is again going to come to you, right? Through the 8th house. Shared property, shared resources, shared assets. Maybe you get a tax refund in, something that was forgot or missed in the mail or lost in the mail, lost in translation. You get money coming in from the government, money coming in from other sources, money coming in from clients, Capricorn. So this could be you, or this could be through, like I said, your partner getting a boost with their money. One thing I'll mention too is Venus in the 8th house can attract in a sexual partnership. Venus in the 9th house, you could find love in international waters, so to speak, right? Foreign lands, foreign shores, foreign cultures, dealing with people from all over the globe, Capricorn. So you could be attracting in love this month if you're open to it, okay? This is where free will steps in. It's not going to happen for everyone. These energies are available to us, for us, and it's up to us how we want to utilize this energy. So think of a video game, right? We're like a little, what do you call those? Avatar things or whatever. They're showing me a little Lego person stomping on the ground, like marching. And it's like, okay, you have all these like things in front of you. You got love, you got coins, you got career, you got family, you got home, you got whatever. And then you go after what it is that you want. Right? That's where our free will comes in. I know, very strange imagery, but I love it when they show me pictures like that. I know, some of you Capricorns are probably just shaking your head right now. I know, I can feel it. Okay, let's see here. Okay, now let's jump to these eclipses here and the 2 areas of life that are being activated for you, Capricorn. So we already talked about the 9th house. I don't want to drive you nuts by repeating myself. But that is technically a new moon. This is also where we had a new moon last month, you guys. 0 degrees, August the 23rd, new moon in Virgo, square with Uranus down in your 6th house. So news coming into the career sector from afar. News coming in regarding your business. Like something coming in, coming at you, coming towards you, they're showing me, right? And again, you probably already experienced this because I'm talking about August. So I guess it depends on when you're watching this. But my point is you technically have 2 new beginnings here, but they're showing me and reminding me this could be endings and new beginnings in this 9th house. just like the third house that we're going to talk about, right? So this is where the layers come in, Capricorn. So what do you have around 29 degrees of Capricorn? What do you have around 15 degrees of Capricorn? That's going to add in additional layers. So if it's your sun, it would be career changes. It would be health, vitality. It could be your status and your reputation. It could be something to do with the father, mother, authority figures in your life. Could be something to do with the home front if it's your moon. If it's your rising, it could be something to do with relationships, marriage, business, one-to-one connections, contracts, agreements, negotiations, or quite literally your identity, the body, how you're taking care of your vessel, Capricorn. So you see how the layers could be played into these eclipse energies. So that eclipse in your ninth house, yes, it's happening on the 21st, but like I said, they're showing me it could happen any time of the month, right? It's not about the day, it's about the month. Now, just a suggestion, Capricorn, if you can, avoid doing anything big on the 7th or the 21st, because we might not be seeing something clearly on or around these days. Nothing bad. At the end of the day, these eclipses are making harmonious aspects to you, Capricorn, but I also don't want to blind people by saying, oh, it's going to be a cakewalk. No, like eclipses can make our head spin. Even if they are making a trine to your sun, your moon, your rising sign, or your love sign, or I mean your descendant, your love line there, it could also make your head spin, right? Because you got to adjust to this new energy that's coming in, right? You got to adjust to this ending. Like, you know, if you abruptly quit your job, that's going to take some time to sink in, right? Or if you meet the love of your life and and it makes your head spin off, well, again, there's an adjustment period. Even though it's good, there's still kind of like a shock factor there. Like, oh, I didn't see that coming, right? So changes in the ninth house, endings and new beginnings, possibly this month. Now let's talk about examples for the third house. This is the mind, Capricorn, like the lower mind, the conscious mind, not the subconscious, the conscious. This is the day-to-day mundane stuff. Like, how are you talking to yourself in the mirror, Capricorn? How do you talk to yourself? Are you critical? Are you mean to yourself? Do you say, well, I can't do that, I can't do this, I'm not as good as him, I'm not as good as her, I'm not blah, blah, blah. Like, how do you talk to yourself? How do you chew on information? How do you communicate? How do you digest information? How do you sit with information? How do you absorb information? Third house is also technology and gadgets. Maybe some of you need to upgrade your technology. North Node in here, I'm going to say the possibility is high. Also new vehicles, new transportation. I'm one of them, Cap. I had to buy a new vehicle. It made my head, this happened to me in late 2024. I had to get rid of 2 vehicles that were old, and I had to bite the bullet and just buy a new vehicle. You know, it was so uncomfortable. It happened right in between the eclipses, and I thought, man, out of all the people, I should know better. You know, I shouldn't be buying a new car in between 2 eclipses, but that's just how the chips fell. So don't be scared to move forward with something this month, Capricorn. Like, don't be scared to take on a big purchase, buy a house, buy a vehicle, sell a vehicle, get rid of things, sign on the dotted line with a new client. You know, don't be scared to do stuff like that. Because sometimes, again, in between eclipses, there's a reason why something is coming in, like I said, really rapidly that makes your head spin off, right? I was really panicked and worried about it. I thought, oh my God, I'm making the wrong decision. I couldn't find a used vehicle for the life of me. Now, are you kidding me? There's used vehicles all over my area, which just makes me laugh. But that tells me there's a reason why I was forced to buy the vehicle I had to buy, right? I felt like I didn't have a choice at the time, right? So there's always a reason why something quick comes in and you're forced to make a quick decision, Capricorn. So don't be afraid to move forward with something this month. I can't stress that enough. because what's meant to be is meant to be in these areas of life. But some of you definitely need to upgrade something. Technology. Yes, it's the third house, but third house can also be like place of living, like community. So neighborhoods, moving could be tied into the third house as well. Especially some of you might have your IC floating in Pisces. So, you know, this could be a change of residence, buying, selling a property. Like I said, upgrading your technology, investing in new technology, social media, networking. This is education, like we talked about with the ninth house. So learning something new, teaching something new, finding a publisher, getting that book out of you, out of your skull and into something, a device or on paper or whatever the case may be. This could be big changes with a sibling too, older, younger, same age as you, it doesn't matter. Changes in the neighborhood, lots of upheaval in the neighborhood. I know me, myself, Capricorn, I have so many new neighbors around me now. It is so hilarious. Like this is like clockwork. You know, these eclipses are hitting my third house from a whole sign perspective. I had to get a new vehicle and I literally have 3 new neighbors around me. And a whole bunch of houses on my street suddenly came up for sale. Like it's just wild how these eclipses play out in our lives, you know. I also have a sibling that's going through a lot of changes as well. Third house is siblings, right? So this could extend out to siblings, cousins, neighbors, relatives, extended family members. There could be a lot of big change coming into their lives as well. What else? Also travel. Did I mention travel? Yeah. Short distance travel, long distance travel, tripping around. There could be, again, more of a focus on your local environment. But again, it could be either or because it's ninth house, third house matters here, Capricorn. So, all right, my friends, it's going to be an exciting month ahead. I am curious how this energy is playing out in your life. And again, lean into this, Capricorn, I would say. You know, again, this energy is in our favor, I'm going to say, versus the last eclipse cycle in Aries and Libra, which would have been a little bit more challenging for the Capricorns and Cancerians. So I suggest to lean into this, and if change comes knocking, take a chance. You know, if you're feeling it, lean into it. You just never know where the next steps might lead you here. All right. Otherwise, Capricorn, enjoy the month ahead, and we'll see you back here in October. Bye for now. Hey, Aquarius, welcome to September, and let's break down the month ahead for you and what areas of life where I think you're going to get some traction, you're going to see some change, and where the personal planets are transiting to sort of activate multiple areas of life here. So let's break this down. So Aquarius, let's start with the sun. The sun is still transiting your 8th house. Mercury is there as well, beginning on the 2nd of September. Venus will eventually join the party. And on top of that, we have an eclipse this month in this area of life as well. Now, last month on August the 23rd, we had a new moon, a new beginning, 0 degrees of this area of life for you, Aquarius. Now, this new moon, obviously a different flavor, which I'm going to come back to because it is an eclipse. So, what is the 8th house? 8th house is deep psychological matters situations. It's sort of the subconscious mind, similar to the 12th house. It's like the subconscious becoming conscious, something bubbling up to the surface. What are you going to do with it, Aquarius? I encourage you to get it the hell out of your body. Don't keep suppressing it. Work with a practitioner, work with a healer, work with a counselor, a social worker, whoever. Talk to a trusted loved one. Get it up and out and open and out of your physical body. Get it out of your aura once and for all. That's 8th house energy. 8th house is also big life changes, big life transformation. Keep that in mind because, again, you have an eclipse here. Well, you have eclipses here for another year or so that's going to take us well into 2027. So I have no doubt, Aquarius, look at you go. You got Pluto, the planet of transformation that rules the 8th house in your 1st house, plus this eclipse cycle is transforming that 8th house as well. So my Aquarian friends are getting a double dose of this transformative energy. But it's also a financial house as well. So this is like a death and rebirth of your finances, a death and rebirth of your partner's finances, or a death and rebirth of any sort of shared assets that you share with somebody, either in marriage, in love, in common law, with your family, with your friends, loved ones, or in business as well, Aquarius. So there's some sort of change, focus, transformation here in this area of life. 8th house is also property matters, buying, selling, real estate, inheritance, shadow work for those of you that are interested or are working through that. 8th house is deep intimacy. It's passionate. It's a very passionate house. So again, sexual energy or intensity is probably amplified with all this energy in your 8th house. 8th house is also about, I know they're saying the stuff we can't get away from, death and taxes, right? Death and taxes, yes, loans, mortgages, things like that. Well, loans and mortgages we can eventually get away from, but yeah, death and taxes we can't avoid unless you want to live off the grid, I guess. 8th house is also, sexuality, and fear, power, and control issues could be coming to the surface as well. Again, anything that comes up, Aquarius, during this cycle with the South Node here, let it go once and for all. And your future self is definitely going to thank you, especially Pluto in your 1st house. You're up for some big transformational change, but this is a longer transit. This eclipse cycle is sort of like accelerating something, pushing something up rapidly so you can get rid of it once and for all. Yeah, for you, Aquarius, I'm hearing loud and clear buying and selling, something to do with property, real estate, like something big, like mortgages, debts, loans, taxes, things like that. There's something big here coming in for you with this cycle. Okay, now once the sun moves into your 9th house, I'll come back to your 8th house, Aquarius, because yeah, you got a lot of packed, dense energy there this month. Now the 9th house, Mercury and the sun and Mars will, Mars has been in here since the beginning of August. Mercury and the sun will join the party here in your 9th house. This energy is more so flowing into your sign a little bit better. The 8th house energy, you can't really see, Aquarius. It's kind of in a blind spot, but you can see the 9th house from your vantage point. So the 9th house is religion, spirituality, whatever your belief systems are. It's an education house, going back to school, finishing up school, publishing, teaching, writing, coaching, mentoring. It's reaching for the stars. It's anything to do with foreign lands, foreign shores, foreign cultures, meeting people from all over the globe, dealing with people from all over the globe, and traveling as well. Pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone is that 9th house, Aquarius. So the sun is going to be energizing those two areas of life. Quite different. 8th house, 9th house do feel quite different. I think you're going to enjoy the sun and Mercury coming into your 9th house because it has a bit of a lighter feel to it versus the 8th house energy where the eclipse is going to be happening for you this month. Not saying the eclipse is bad, it's just the 8th house is heavy. 8th house is heavy, 4th house is heavy, 6th house is heavy. Like certain houses have kind of a more dense energy to them where I think you'll enjoy this break from all these condensed energies in your 8th house. Now, Venus in your opposite sign of Leo. This is really good for relationships, Aquarius. So you have this the final week of August into September for about 4 weeks time. And then she's going to join the party in your 8th house. Venus in the 8th house is good too, though. She attracts in love, money, beauty wherever she goes. So this will benefit your partner, money coming into your partner's hands, or money coming to you from other sources. So think taxes, government, alimony, a partner, a child. I don't know if anybody supports you, Aquarius. It's money coming in from other people, your clients, business associates. Again, buying, selling, assets, property, things like that. Money coming towards you with Venus in your 8th house. But before then, she's still in your 7th house, bringing in blessings into your relationship sector. So this is really nice, Aquarius, for love. Again, money coming in from other people that you are connected to, new contracts, new agreements, new offers, new negotiations, going after that promotion, going after that new home, whatever the case may be, buying, selling, similar energy to that 8th house where something good is coming into this area of life. This is really nice energy, again, coming in, I'm going to say, to your for your partner as well. For those of you open to meet somebody new, I would say put yourself out there if you haven't already done so, because even Mars in that 9th house that's been there since beginning of August can also attract in a sexual partner from foreign lands, foreign shores. So they might not be in your local vicinity. You might meet them online, or you might meet them traveling. Or again, you bump into this person in your local environment, but they're not from the area. They're from somewhere else. So Venus is giving that vibe as well, coming into your 7th house, meeting somebody new, because again, you're attracting in somebody in this partnership sector, Aquarius. Again, only if you're interested and open. For those of you in a committed relationship, again, Venus coming into the 7th house is really nice energy for you and them. Get away with them. You might want to spend money on each other, a luxurious trip or a vacation or a staycation. Maybe you just want to hang out at home. That's also a nice way to utilize this energy. Let's see here. Also, you might meet somebody at work, I'm going to say, Aquarius. That's also a possibility as well, or whatever you do for work. Own a business, run a business, work for an employer. Yeah, there's some sort of connection here of the possibility of somebody catching your eye at work, or it could even be a client that catches your eye as well, Aquarius. Okay, so that's where the energy is this month. 7th, 8th, 9th houses is lit up for you. But now let's lean into the eclipses and talk about the 2 areas of life where you're going to be welcoming in change, up for some change, up for letting go of something, and possibly new beginnings this month. And they're showing me this month is one of a kind. Normally I say, okay, new moon, new beginnings in this area of life. Okay, full moon, endings in this area of life. But they're showing me this month is like one lunation. That's it. They're showing me one ginormous supermoon that is bringing in endings and new beginnings all month long. So yes, it's about the days. Like we have the full moon on the 7th, we have the new moon eclipse on the 21st, but they're saying to me it's not about the specific days. It's about the entire month and even October. I felt this for Capricorn too. For you, Aquarius, yeah, you and Capricorn are ruled by Saturn. So I'm feeling September and October are going to be big months for you. Could have something to do with your ruler moving back into Pisces, by the way, kind of making sure you're on a solid footing, you're on a solid financial foundation before he moves back into your 3rd house. But this is about overall big change coming into both of these areas of life. They're showing me this is like melding together. I hope this kind of makes sense. That's how they're showing it to me. It's not about one or the other. It's about mixing them, mashing them all together, because we're all going to have endings and new beginnings this month. And anything could happen, they're saying. It might not be about these respective areas of life because it could roll into other areas of life. So let's talk about, we already talked about the 8th house, so I don't want to drive you nuts by talking about that. But again, changes, big transformation coming into that 8th house, Aquarius. And they're showing me because Pluto is in your 1st house, this could also impact your identity, what you're known for, your status, your reputation, something to do with your parents, something to do with your loved ones, your family, your children. anything could happen here. I feel like the eclipse is almost happening in your first house because you have Pluto there, they're saying. Pluto does rule the top of your sky. So, I mean, that could also be why they're showing me that. But the 8th house and Pluto are deeply connected to each other. So keep in mind, yes, it could be about finances, either yours or your partner's, but it could be bigger than that. It could be your career. It could be your mother, father, authority figures in your life. It could be about them going through big change and you're there to support them for the month ahead, right? Or something to do with tied into this bigger, greater cycle that started late 2024 and it's going to take us all the way to 2027. So this is not it, the end all be all, Aquarius. This is just a chapter that's unfolding this month that's just going to continue well into 2026. Well, 2027 for that matter. Okay, let's talk about your second house because we did not talk about this house. So technically full moon, total lunar eclipse in Pisces at 15 degrees. This is your second house of money, of work, of finances, income. How do you earn a living, Aquarius? How does money come to you, through you, for you? How do you pay the bills? If you're not working, how do you pay the bills? Who supports you? Is it the government? Is it a child? Is it a parent? Is it, I don't know, disability checks or whatever, compensation checks or something like that, pension checks? Like, how do you earn a living? How do you pay the bills, so to speak? How do you keep the lights on? That's second house. That's up for some change and new opportunity coming in your way. Again, could be this month, could have been last month, might be next month. Eclipses are on their own timelines, so it really could manifest any month for that matter, because again, this eclipse cycle, we're right in the middle of it. Second house is also material possessions, your skill set, buying and selling is in the second house as well, and what personally belongs to you, Aquarius. So again, that could be up for some shuffling and some changes and things like that. Now it is the North Node, so I'm going to say you're accumulating more wealth, you're bringing in more money, or new work, or new job opportunities, right? Or change of career, or going back to school, learning something new. So you can start a new life, so you can stand on your own 2 feet, right? It's not going to apply to all of you, but I'm just giving you examples. And then again, we talked about that 8th house, changes to your partner's income. Changes to how money flows to you, through you, for you. Something to do with changes in taxes, debts, loan. That sort of structure might change. And if you are reliant on somebody else, Aquarius, please don't take this the wrong way, my friends. It might be time to stand on your own 2 feet and think about, how can I rely on and depend on myself? I don't want to be dependent on that person anymore. Now, I don't mean to upset anyone, okay? So obviously this is not going to resonate for each and every one of you, but it's something to digest and think about, because with Saturn in your second house since March of 2023, this lesson, I'm guessing, should have come up at some point. You know, Saturn in the second house can be hard lessons around money and finances and resources. But Saturn here, if you've done the work, Aquarius, this is your ruler, by the way. Once he exits your second house, you should be on solid footing, a firm foundation, setting you up for success, or learning something new. And then Saturn's going to continue that journey as he moves back into your third house, but not until February of 2026. So overall, restructuring of your finances, Aquarius. What is your relationship to money? When I say that, how does that feel in your body? You know, because you might need to do maybe some shadow work around money. I know I had to do that personally. I was raised work hard, play hard. I was raised you had to work like a goddamn dog just to earn $1. But as I got older, I realized, no, that's a mindset I learned from my father. And that's wrong, actually. You know, we're instilled with these old school mentalities. And it's time for all of that to change, thanks to Pluto in Aquarius, even thanks to Pluto in Capricorn, breaking down those old dinosaur structures that we don't need anymore. And we are now creating our own new belief systems, second house's belief systems. You know, money doesn't need to be hard. You don't need to work hard for money. You work smarter, not harder. So now that's what I've adopted. And if you lean into what you love, Aquarius, money is going to come so much easier. It's just going to line up around the block, little piles of cash. And again, I don't mean to make this about money, but this is happening in your financial axes, okay? But again, if it bugs you that I'm talking about money, that's a shadow trait, right? Anything that irritates us, that somebody says, that's a shadow. That's something we need to work on internally, right? So anyway, this cycle is working with you, for you, Aquarius, and also Pluto. You know, I'm a Capricorn rising and a Capricorn moon. I've had Pluto go through my first house, and technically he's still kind of in my first house from a Placidus standpoint. So I feel you guys. I'm with you guys. I'm also ruled by Saturn. And let me tell you, I don't regret anything that I went through, because Pluto is going to just make you so powerful you can't even, I can't articulate it right now, because I'm still digesting it and going through it myself. But anyway, good things are coming, my friend, and lean into this. Lean into change, lean into new work, lean into new opportunity, new relationships. Whatever feels good and lights you up from the inside out, I would say lean into it and take advantage of it. Anyway, Aquarius, enjoy the month ahead, and we'll see you back here in October. Bye for now. Hey Pisces, welcome to September, and let's break down the month ahead. But man, oh man, I'm sure you've heard me say this before. Between Saturn leaving your sign, Neptune leaving your sign, the North Node now in your sign, the eclipse cycle now in your sign, Pisces, you are up for change that I can't even articulate in this cycle, because it's going to impact all areas of your life. And I want you to be excited about this. I'm encouraging you, I should say, to be excited about this. I can't force you, of course. I encourage you to lean into change. I encourage you to go with the flow. You're a mutable sign after all. So you should at least understand that aspect of it. But my friends, this is another month ahead where, yes, these eclipses are hitting you dead on, especially if you have anything around 15 degrees, 29 degrees of your sign. It doesn't matter though. They're showing me all Pisceans are going to feel this. So let's break down the month ahead, my friends. Saturn moving back into your sign. I know you're probably like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? But think back to March of 2023. He is just testing what you've put into place since that time. He's testing all of us, right? But because this is your first house, it really could be any area of life. But just think back to March of 2023 to May of 2025. Whatever you incorporated, whatever you started building, or maybe this was about endings, right? Saturn now is coming back into your sign, giving you that elbow, giving you that nudge, and testing you. He could be testing your boundaries. He could be testing your faith. He could be testing your belief systems. He could be testing your relationships, your health and well-being, your physical body, your home life, your career. It might feel heavy again, right? It might feel heavy again. Just know, okay, he's back in bed with me, so to speak. It's like a goddamn ex coming back from the dead, coming back from the past. and you got to deal with it once and for all. Because just think, you're not going to have this again, Pisces, for another 29 years. So I'm going to say make the most of it, work with Saturn, put in the work, and he will exit your sign for good February of 2026. And I know you're moaning and groaning and saying, well, that's too long and blah, 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 blah. Again, you know this energy. You've felt it before. Yes, him backing up into that 29-degree mark can be tough, especially if you have anything around 25 to 29 degrees. He's coming back over that. But he's doing that for a reason, helping you rebuild. Saturn's the builder, okay? He's not the destroyer. That's Pluto. Saturn is the builder. He's trying to build you up. You know, think of the military. You know, Saturn, Capricorn, they rule the military, right? Or the police or whatever. He's trying to whip you into shape. So, yes, the pain in the ass is back, but this is a wrapping up, Pisces. This shouldn't be anything new. This is kind of like, okay, I got to wrap something up before Saturn permanently moves into my second house. Well, not permanently, but, you know, in 2026. Now, let's talk about where the sun will be transiting for you this month. So he's still in your 7th house. You have a lot of energy in your 7th house. I'm going to come back to that because that's where you have an eclipse. 7th house, all about contracts, agreements, negotiations, marriage, common law partnerships, business partnerships, anything to do with one-to-one partnerships. So this could be family, friends, loved ones, anybody you're kind of in bed with when it comes to love or business, so to speak. This could also be new contracts, right? So I'm thinking like new jobs or opportunities for new jobs or new sources of income coming in for you, Pisces, is what they're showing me too. So that's where some of the spotlight is going to be this month, is on your one-to-one relations and what that means to you, for you. Now, once the Sun and Mercury move into your 8th house, and that's where Mars has been since the beginning of August, Mars rolling around in here can kind of bring up things from the past, kind of bring up things subconsciously into the conscious mind. The reason why this is happening, and then the Sun is going to just shine a spotlight on it. So Pisces, you can't really ignore this anymore. I'm not saying you all are, but this is like double, triple whammy of something coming up. Fears, power issues, control issues, sexual issues even, because the 8th house is sex, putting a spotlight on sex. And what does intimacy mean to you? What does that one-to-one relationship connection from an intimate standpoint mean to you, Pisces? That could be coming up for some reason, right? Mars in here only comes around every 2 years. So he's rolling around here, kicking up dust and dirt, pissing you off kind of, maybe, because you can't really see the 8th house from where you are. So you don't know where this shit is coming from. And you're like, oh, why is this coming up? Well, it's coming up so you can deal with it once and for all and let it go once and for all, or incorporate it for once and for all. Shadow work, work with a therapist, a counselor, a healer, a light worker, whatever the case may be. Pisces, it's asking you to release it out of your body, out of your aura, detoxify, whatever you want to call it. So that's where sort of some of the spotlight will be. Also spotlight on your partner's finances and resources, how money flows to you, whether it's through clients, through work, through business, through the government, a pension, an RSP, a 401k, I don't know, whatever. Disability checks, how does money come to you? Come into your bank account, or your partner's finances or income could be coming into the spotlight. Shared assets, shared resources, mortgages, taxes, debts, loans is the 8th house as well. So that could be in the spotlight in some way, shape, or form. Now, Venus in the 6th house, I do like for you, Pisces. Speaking of new jobs and new opportunities, Venus in the 6th house could help you out with that. She could also help you out with your coworkers, your colleagues, people that work with you, people that work for you, contractors. By the way, Pisces, if you need to hire somebody to work on your website, to work on your house, if you need to hire new people, Venus is going to help you attract in the right people to help you out. So this is really nice energy. It started the end of August. It's going to wrap up around September the 19th when Venus moves into your 7th house, which is going to be amazing for your relationships, by the way. Absolutely amazing. If you're looking for love, if you're open to meeting somebody new, it's full on. You got Mars in your house of sex. Mars has been here since the beginning of August. You got Venus in Leo. You could be attracting in a partner from how are you of service? So if you're not working, do you volunteer? Do you help the community? Do you help a shelter? Like, what do you do? You could find love in unexpected ways, or of being of service, or through work endeavors, or even through a client, or even through a coworker or something along those lines. So I love Venus in the 6th house and the 7th house for you this month. Because again, she's going to bring in love and money and beauty. She's going to attract that to you, towards you, Pisces. Okay, so let's jump to the eclipses now. Okay, sorry, they're chattering to me here. I know I can't multitask for the life of me. Okay. Something to do with also rental agreements, you guys. Rental agreements, buying, selling, property matters. For those of you that, I don't know, rent or rent to own or own to rent, I don't know, something like that I'm hearing. Also, if you have tenants or if you need to find tenants, again, is that how you say it? Tenants. Yeah, tenants. Again, advertise, put yourself out there. Social media. I'm specifically hearing Facebook for some reason. Definitely not advertising for them, you guys, but I'm hearing specifically Facebook. You could find the right roommate or the right person to rent off of you, from you. Rental agreements could be coming into focus this month too. That will benefit you. That could be an income stream as well. Something about renting. Could also be renting equipment, renting cars, like loaning out things and stuff like that. So anyway, they wanted me to say that out loud. So there we go. Okay, I want to move on to the eclipses. Thank you. Okay, we talked about your 7th house, my friends. Eclipses in the 7th house. South note here, I feel like pretty straightforward messaging here, my friends. You got to let something go in this area of life in order to welcome in something new that could be about you. Well, it is about you. What am I talking about? It is about you, your identity, your body, your health and well-being. Letting go of a job that is not healthy anymore. Letting go of something that is toxic, a person, a place, a thing, somebody that you're connected to one-on-one. Something needs to go here. Something needs to be released once and for all. So you can, I'm hearing so many messages, stand on your own 2 feet, shine your light, be yourself, become single again, attract in a partner that is your vibrational match. This could also mean a career. This can also be a home. This can also be a place of living, because this is impacting all your angles, Pisces. Your career, your home, you as a parent, your parents, your children, your family, your love relationships, your marital relationships, and you. The point is you. All this feeds back to is you. I keep hearing like you got to be yourself. I keep hearing you got to be yourself, or something to do with shining your light bright or bringing something out in the open. Like some of you have such a tremendous gift. You got to get it out there, my friends. You got to just push yourself outside of your comfort zone and do it. I see some of you on stages. I see some of you singing. I see some of you painting. I see something to do with music. Like I'm seeing so many things, so many gifts, talents, and abilities that your group, they're saying your group of people, like group of people is going to bring forward. All the Pisceans out there is going to bring forward. I know I feel preachy right now. I'm probably preaching too much. But anyway, They're also, I can't remember if I said this, you guys, sorry. They're showing me this month, it's not about the eclipse days. It's about, they're just showing me like one lunation this month. That's it. They're showing me a giant supermoon, but it's not your typical supermoon. It's shining in a bright blue light, and it's all sparkly, and it's ginormous. Like it's, I don't know, 1,000 times bigger than how we can see the lunation in the sky. They're showing it like really, I can't articulate how big they're showing this to me, but it's just one this month. That's it. It's like one lunation. So that's why I'm not focusing on the dates so much. I have them on the slide here. So the 7th and the 21st, respectively, give or take a day or two. But it's about the two houses, the two areas of life coming together. So big life change with your physical appearance, with your identity, with your body, with your health and well-being. Major life cycles, major life themes, your approach to life, your career, retirement, your parents, you as a parent, your family, your kids, your grandkids, your relationships. Like I could go on and on and on here. This is all connected, like I said, to you. This is all flowing into source, into you. You are source. And then, yes, the other eclipse is across the street from you. So we talked about that. The other, contracts, agreements, negotiations, people coming and going, you know, fated people, places, things coming into your life for a reason, and people exiting your life for a reason. Now, I don't want to scare you, Pisces. I'm not saying all of you are going to break up and get divorced and stuff like that. That's not going to happen. If they are meant to stay in your life and stand the test of time, they're not going anywhere, right? And you will feel that. You out of all the signs should, like, you're so psychic. Every single Pisces I talk to, I love it. They know. They just come to me to get that confirmation. They already know all this shit. I don't tell them anything new. They just say, yeah, I was feeling that. Yes, I knew that. I just needed like somebody to tell me I was on the right path, or I am on the right path, or I'm right. So Pisces, lean into it, because I know you don't feel it at times, but life is working for you, with you, through you. And yeah, a lot of you have these incredible gifts to bring forward. And I hope Neptune and Saturn in your second house, that's going to give you the boost and the platform you need, the second house of work, to bring them forward. And for those of you that aren't working, then dive into hobbies, dive into spiritual pursuits if that lights you up. Dive into humanitarian efforts, dive into, I don't know, saving the planet, saving the animals, something to do with water. Like, I'm hearing it all, Pisces, and I could go on and on and on about it, but I don't want to sound preachy. But just know you're up for some big change this month. Activations in your 6th house, 7th house, 8th house that we talked about. And again, endings and new beginnings. With, again, multiple areas of life, my friends, multiple areas, because this could bleed out in so many different ways, right? So anyway, I'll wrap it up there, Pisces, and I just wanted to make sure I'm not forgetting anything. Yeah, it's going to be a great month ahead, you guys. Like, I love eclipse season. I love dealing with eclipses because it always fascinates me when life speeds up around these eclipses and suddenly we're pushed and shoved into something new and we just didn't realize it, how fast life can happen around these dates. Also, try to avoid signing on the dotted line on the 7th and the 21st. I know I said it's not about the days, but on the day of the eclipse, do be mindful if you do have to execute something on that day or do something big on the 7th or the 21st. Just be mindful because you might not see something clear, especially with the eclipses in your 1st house. What's going to add those additional layers, as I mentioned, is, you know, if you have anything around 15 degrees or 29 degrees, in your sign or your opposite sign, this is going to add in those layers. So if it's your moon, it's something to do with your home, family, foundation, your place of living. If it's your sun, it could be about your career, your identity, or father figures. Moon, it could be the mother, something to do with mother or female figures. If it's your rising sign, again, this is your physical appearance. It's your identity. It's the health and well-being of the body. It's how you carry yourself, walk into the world. It's the glasses we wear. It's sort of the lenses we see life through. Everybody sees life in their own lens, so to speak. So big changes, if these are impacting you directly, big changes in your life. And to add more layers, again, what do you have anything in Sagittarius and Gemini, right? Yes, Uranus is down there, but do you have any personal planets in Sag and Gemini? That's going to add in those additional layers, challenging you to step outside of your comfort zone and change something about, I'm hearing place of living specifically, but anyway, change how you're doing something, change something that you want once and for all. It's kind of like the final straw is being pulled this month, Pisces. So anyway, enjoy the month ahead, my friends, and we will see you back here in October. Bye for now.